Oh, Will Kassouf's not
Will
Phil.
Kassouf, Phil, aka Phil Hellmuth, maybe. Listen, what's up, guys? We're here. We're live. Welcome, brand new Poker Live podcast. A little late because Will was making it work and I was making it work, and now we're here. We're live. What's going on? Join Moneymaker Chicago Joey. Today, we're going to discuss if Will Kassouf is great for poker or if he is the worst thing to ever happen in poker history. I feel like very polarizing on both sides after I post videos about Will coming on the podcast. Before we get into it, guys, podcast, if I don't update iTunes tonight, I am going to get GTO tattooed on my body somewhere, the word GTO, because I have not updated iTunes. People are freaking out. Also, sponsor for the podcast, guys, I'mAWhale.com. They do staking, they do coaching, they do backing. They get you on different sites out there that exist in the underground world of online poker where all these crazy people play, where the rake's really fucking high and the players are out of line, and they take care of it all. I'mAWhale.com. Say I sent you, and much love to them. They've always been someone I feel like they've helped out the community a lot. They helped me out back in the day. And I always heard good things about them. So sponsor for the podcast, upcoming podcast. We got Gus Hansen. We have Rob Young, who is the owner of the Dusk Till Dawn Casino and one of the men behind Party Poker, plays a very live high stakes. He'll be on here at some point in time. We also have Alex Foxen, Nipun Java, and Chance Cornyn for a Chip Lear coaching week. That's it. Let's get into it. Joining me today on the podcast is a young man. I don't know what to expect. He recently had Shaun Deeb on the podcast. Shaun Deeb made some comments about him, and him and Will got into a back and forth. There may or may not have been a wife involved in the situation. There may not have been other things involved in the situation. We're going to talk more about that. We're going to talk more about what Will's been up to. We're going to talk about how it feels to be one of the most famous poker players in the entire world. Joining me today, Will Kassouf. What's up, Will? How are we doing?
Joey, Papi, what's happening?
What's happening? What's happening, Big Papi? What's happening?
I'm all good. Yeah, I'm glad we finally got this all set up. You had a bit of a connection problem your end, and so did I. But we're finally here. Hashtag for the fans. So yeah, it's all good.
Big Papi, what have you been up to lately, man? What's been you've been going back and forth a little bit on Twitter. What have you been doing?
That's it. Yeah, had a fair bit of action on social media. You know, I'm not one to be shy on social media. I'll say what I have to say. But yeah, I've been busy, like mainly playing poker, just enjoying myself. And just come back recently from a big Goliath festival here in the UK. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. The biggest tournament in the world outside the US. We had like over 7,500 players buying for like a £125 tournament, with the top prize being over £100,000, tax-free, I might add. So none of this Uncle Sam taking away 30-40% of your profits or your winnings. Yeah, £100 tournament basically, and £100,000. And one guy won it here just a couple of days ago.
7,000 people? Where do they put the people at? Where was this, in like a warehouse?
It's in the G Casino Coventry. It's part of the Ricoh Arena where Coventry City play their football. So it's on every year, the end of July, beginning of August. There's 7 different flights, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Yep, I counted that correctly. There's A to G. That's 1 to 7. 7 different flights. It starts on like the Saturday and Sunday, the weekend before. Then it goes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, day 2 Saturday, and final day Sunday. So it's a 3-day tournament, £125 total buy-in, and the top prize was guaranteed £100,000, pound sterling, cash money, tax-free. So you can't beat that. And they actually did the proper payout structure. It wasn't like the WSOP, like they did 10 million for first, and then second place was like 5 mil. It was like a proper payout structure. They actually managed to beat that with a number of runners, and the top prize was actually £101,400 tax-free. So that's pretty sick for a £125 investment.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's awesome, man. It sounds like there's some really cool things happening out there.
That's it. And that's a sick. It was like the World Series of Poker. It was the World Series of Poker for the recreational players. That's what it's all about. And it's a fun atmosphere. It was absolute buzzing in there. For £125, you and I both know, it's affordable for pretty much every man and his dog. Loads of people even satellited in on grosvenorpoker.com for even 25 pence. So literally being in for them in to get the max. They weren't even in.
How much are they paying you, Will? How much are they giving you for this? Did they pay me? I didn't get the money for this one, for this ad we're doing for them right now. I'm kidding.
Yeah, that sounds like a bad beat, Joey. That's unfortunate, but this is just how
we call you the negotiator for a reason, buddy. If anyone can get the money, it's you, my friend. Remember that time you came on the podcast the second time and you tried to get me to send you money to come on? I was like, no, what are you talking about?
Yeah, but you bought me dinner and you bought me an ice cream, so you kind of made up for it. So that's all good. And you keep smiling. It's great for the
I took you out to Excess goddamn nightclub. Okay, that right. That should have been a
actually, it's debatable whether you took me out or I took you out, but we both took each other out to Excess. How's that? We had a good night, so it's all good.
That was pretty fun. That was pretty
that night was a bit LOL. Let's put it that way.
I found some photos on my phone with me, you, and some other people in their photo. I don't know. I don't remember happening. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what it is. I actually saw someone on Twitter put a poll. They said, who would you rather go on a night out with, Will Kassouf or Griffin Banger? I was like, well, definitely Will. I mean, I imagine Will's gonna be more fun than Griffin will be out. You know, I don't want to be told to check my privilege if I'm on the dance floor getting a little jiggy with or something.
I mean, I haven't seen the guy. I haven't heard much from him on social media or anything for the last 2 years. I don't know if he's still checking his privilege in the mirror after 2 years and still counting. I don't know. But,
listen, Will, I don't know. Last time I saw him, he said something to me. I mentioned something about Nolan Hold'em, and he said, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He like swore at me and like, I don't know, got really aggressive or something like that. So I don't know if he was trying to tell me to check my privilege talking about Nolan Hold'em, if he was trying to tell me he's got a better life no matter what happens. I don't know what exactly was going on with that comment. I haven't really spoken to him since then. I don't know what's going on with the kids since then. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It was, I haven't seen that story in a while today until I posted the clip out there. And I got to say, Will, when I posted this clip, it's very polarizing. The responses they get, they're never in the middle. It's either like, this is the most annoying person I've ever seen, or this guy's a fucking legend. I love this guy. And it seems to be mixed down the middle. It's not like one's more than the other. You got a ton of really hardcore fans out there. You got a ton of people that support you. You also have a ton of people that don't support you and that aren't hardcore fans. And there's no in the middle with you, it seems like. And kind of the big thing, you know, the reason why I wanted to really do this podcast was after we had Shaun Deeb on, and you posted that on your social media, and I got to read all the comments that were coming in from pros, from recreationals, from fans, from people that aren't fans. And I started really thinking about it. And I mean, I don't know. I feel like we always talk about, we want characters in poker, right? We want people that are talking. We want people that aren't just sitting there with their hoodies on, jacking off to an iPad, watching Logan and Folding for 7 hours. Like, I feel like we don't like that. We want people that are going to be speaking. And then once we get someone that's speaking up, that's saying something that has a personality, we're like, all right, shut the fuck up, guy. Okay. We had enough of this guy. We've had enough of this guy. And even me, sometimes I say that too. I'm like, I mean, maybe we have enough, but I start thinking about it. Well, that's what we're all clamoring for. We're clamoring for the characters, and maybe we want them to be these perfect characters, but that's not always going to be the case. And I feel like that's where you fall in. You fall in as a poker character, someone who wants to make poker fun again, who wants to put the banter up there, what raffle stuff. I'm not sure how hell you call it, Will, but you call it somewhere, the raffle, whatever it was.
That's it. Raffle's going to raffle.
And now at the same time, it might be annoying to some people because they say you don't be quiet, you don't shut up, you're talking the entire time. But other people love it. So where do you stand on this, Will? Where do you see things after the experiences you've had in the poker world these past couple of years?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. I've always told you this in the past, and yeah, you pretty much said it right there. Like, poker needs characters and personalities in the game. It's a dying game without it. We need to bring the fun factor back to poker. We need the personalities back in the game. The likes of Phil Hellmuth and Scotty Wynn, Mike Manasseh, Danny Negreanu, the people who are like talking on the table, the high stakes poker like you used to watch on TV, and the Sammy Farhar and all these kind of characters and that you see, well, making it fun, making it exciting, all the table talk and the jibing and the having a go at each other, getting under each other's skin, but in a fun way and made for a great entertainment to watch it on TV. What you want is a better playing experience, not just for the players but for the spectators alike. You've got to make poker fun again. Effectively, is the bottom line, like you just said, which is what pretty much the hashtag I'm trying to get trending. It's a dying game without it. No one wants to see a bunch of hooded, headphone-wearing zombies just sitting there for like 10 hours a day, just looking at their cards, staring at each other, and mucking their cards. I mean, even Tom Dwan has done a recent interview. I saw. I think it was on Twitter. I don't know exactly where it was. It might have been in Macau. And he was saying the problem with No Limit Hold'em right now is people literally just staring at each other. I know he's almost like criticizing his own play when you used to see him on high stakes poker with his mouth open like duh, and just literally just like staring at his opponent for 5 minutes without even blinking, and you can see his eyes are like getting so dry, and he's literally staring at his opponent. But it seemed to work for him. It seems like people are now trying to emulate idols like that, big name poker players like that, and just staring each other down, saying nothing, and literally tanking in a bad way, literally saying nothing and just tanking and then folding after 5 minutes. That's what's really bad for the game, not the speech play and the banter and getting under the opponent's skin and annoying people at the table. I think that's going to be more favored than someone just sitting there in silence and staring at their opponent. So what we need to get rid of is the socially inept individuals just sitting there with their hoodies and headphones and sunglasses, saying nothing on the table, and more interaction amongst the players on the table. I'm not expecting everyone to be an extrovert like myself and be talking all the time and worried that they're going to give away any tells, or they're speaking too much, or their opponent's going to pick up or get a read on them. But just common courtesy, just like open up, just speak to your neighbor, just have casual icebreaker. There's so much information you can pick up on the table just by speaking to your opponent. And I'm not just saying it from a tactical point of view in terms of trying to get information so that can be beneficial for you, playing with the same players for 8 hours a day. but just by socializing with your player next to you, especially on your left, especially when it comes to they've got position on you, it's small blind, big blind. If you put them at ease from the start of the tournament, just, hey, how you doing? Yeah, where you from? Oh, so you played the World Series main event before? Is this your first time? You get an idea of whether they're kind of an amateur. Have they played the game before? Are they a pro? Have they cashed in the main event? Are they an experienced player? Because when it comes to the latter stages of the tournament, can you then put pressure on them when it comes to the bubble? Are they going to fold? Are they going to be making moves? Are they going to knit it up because they're going to be the biggest cash of their life for a 15K payday because they satellited in for $1,000? So you can get so much information, just small things like that, just speaking to your opponent and just being friendly with everyone on the table and just having fun, having a good time. You can secretly get all this small information that could become valuable to you later on in the tournament from a tactical point of view. So there's a reason why I do the speech play. There's method to the madness, so to speak. I don't do it for show. I don't do it for the cameras. I don't do it just on the feature table, outer table, $100 tournament, 10K main event. You see me playing the same way, the same speech, and acting the same way on the table. So I'm not doing it for the cameras or playing up or playing any differently. So ultimately, I'll just play my game. It's my style of playing. Everyone should have their own style of playing poker. And I welcome everyone to join the game of poker. Keep it recreational, keep it fun. What's great about poker ultimately is it brings in all players from all walks of life, different backgrounds, different way of thinking, different mentality, and different styles of playing. And that's what makes poker a great game. If we all played solid, if we all played GTO and had all the best maths and we knew everything at pot odds, implied odds, and played all GTO and played the same way, it wouldn't make for a great game. Everyone would just be sitting there, just gambling with absolute coconuts, but literally only putting chips in the pot when they got it. It's not going to make for a fun game. No one's going to be gambling. No one's going to be putting chips in the pot, and it won't make for a great game. What will make for a great game is people opening up, having a good time, enjoying themselves. Win or lose, they're talking on the table. It's a social environment. This is what live poker is all about. This is what needs to happen for the remainder of 2018 and 2019 going forward, making poker fun again. And that's what I'm trying to hammer home effectively. So
people in the chat are saying that Will talks fast, and Sasha said I talk fast and Will talks fast too. So I can actually understand everything that Will's saying because I also speak at 1,000 miles an hour. And I can slow down sometimes by using my hand motions to help guide me like I'm speaking Mandarin with my signs. But I can understand what everything Will's saying to me perfectly. Speaking my speed right now. If you guys can't understand out there, lower your speed on the video, my friends. I actually don't know if you can do that live, but if you're watching this back, you might be able to do that. But no, I agree with you, Will. I think that's, and obviously when I go play live, I'm talking it up. I'm having a good time. I'm having some drinks. I'm getting a little bit out of line in terms of my commentary, but at the same time, I understand why people don't like that, why people that are playing high stakes or the grinders who are grinding every single day, day in, day out, don't want to have to deal with that or want to see that. I guess, I don't know. I feel like I guess let's talk about some of the comments Shaun said about the whole entire, the girlfriend situation. And listen, Will, listen, and we're live here right now. So I know you can't.
So we have to say to apart to brush your ass on your own podcast. You go ahead.
Listen. That was a pickup line, okay? When you ask someone, is that your brother? Come on, you're saying that's not a pickup line. I find this hard. I don't care who the woman is, that's a pickup line. Don't lie to me. Come on. I've been on the block, buddy.
Well, so we're now in 2018, and you cannot ask someone if you're someone's sibling. You cannot ask, are you his sister? Are you her brother? Without it being a pickup line, right?
Pickup line.
Are you his sister? Is that your brother? Oh, is that a pickup line? Are you hitting me? Now you're going to be accusing me of being gay because I asked if he's your brother. Are you kidding me?
Well, I don't know. Are you? I don't know. You bisexual? Who knows? I don't know. Who am I to say you are? I'm not going to assume. I'm not going to assume your status in terms of what you like and what you don't like out there, my friend. I'm going to ask you that first. But no,
I'm not homophobic or anything. I'm definitely heterosexual, but I'm not one to judge. But my point is that if you ask someone if are you their brother, are you their sister, you're asking a genuine, legit question. You're not hitting on them, but asking them, are they your sibling? It's a genuine, open question. There's no innuendo. There's no sexual connotation.
I'm gonna be honest. If I'm asking a woman that, usually it's because I'm leading the subject somewhere. So
let's not take it out of context, Joey. Let's talk about the situation that we're actually talking about, which is Shaun Deeb and his sister/wife Ashley. Right. The point is, she actually looks like him, or I thought she looks like him, and there's many others around the world who actually agree with me that she actually does look like him. Hence the reason why I asked. And you saw Ashley took to Twitter, and I've got to give credit to Ashley. Credit where credit's due. Balls of steel from Ashley Deeb, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause for Ashley. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause for Ashley for the tweet that she came out with. She quoted exactly. There we go, Joey. Good job. You got it, man. Good job. All right. Oh, you stop clapping, Joey. Calm down now.
I gotta be. It was pretty epic that she came out and said that. I mean,
she said from his own wife. She even quoted exactly what happened. Listen. Oh, hey, we haven't met. My name's Will. You must be Shaun Deeb's ... sister. And she goes, wife. It's easily confused. I'm way out of his league, so I'll give you a pass. And that was it. That was it. end the story. You guys are worse than girls, etc. And she tweeted that. That went around the world a few times. So that just goes to show, like, she said it how it was. There was no kind of like innuendo. There was no kind of chat up line. There was no hitting on his wife or anything like that. It was genuinely, I thought that because she looked like him, that it could be his sister. So that was it. There was nothing towards it. So, and trust me, I wouldn't be hitting, no disrespect to Ashley, but I wouldn't be hitting on her considering I think that she looks like Shaun Deeb. So, hashtag just saying. Bang, bang. What's happening, Pappy? Don't be shy. The viewers are waiting. Joey, come back.
No, that's not a line, bro. Come on. What are you talking about? That's not a line, man.
I'm just saying it how it is, Joey. Listen, straight up.
You don't think that's mean?
What mean? What do you mean when that's mean? What's mean? I'm just saying it how it is.
Come on, why you say that? That's pretty. That's what I was saying on Twitter when I said why you like putting down. I feel like you're. No.
Don't get twisted now. Don't try and twist it now and stir the shit like Joe, because I saw you stirring the shit when you were there with like Shaun Deeb. Nothing about stirring the shit. I'm just saying it how it is. I'm not being rude. I like Ashley. I think fair play for exactly what she wrote on Twitter. That takes balls of steel to go against her husband, say it how it was, and people to chime in and say this is the biggest win of poker of all year.
I would divorce. I swear I would divorce her instantly. If that happened to me, if that was my wife said that, instant divorce. I'm dead fucking serious. If I ever have a wife and I get in something with Kassouf on Twitter and she backs up Kassouf, I don't care. You gotta lie sometimes, man. That was a spot right there. You back up your man. I mean, listen, that's me. That's me. Will divorce. That's an insta divorce right there. Insta divorce. I'm ready. I'm insta divorce, man. Hey,
that's poker. Shit happens, right? That's it. So the fact that she took to Twitter and she like backed me up, and people were quoting tweet, this is the biggest win of poker all year. The fact that Shaun Deeb's wife backed up Will over him, so that was hilarious. But if anyone should be getting grinning for being a bit mean or a bit cheeky, it should be Chris Moneymaker. I don't know if you saw his tweet when he chimes in after 24 hours. He came in from nowhere. Chris Moneymaker chimed in when I put like the 3 photos of Ashley and then Shaun Deeb in drag when he was playing the ladies event, and then a photo of Shaun Deeb. I said, well, sister or wife, like the jury's still out, you decide, just to go on with the banter without trying to be mean, because I was trying to prove a point. She actually looks like him, so I thought it could genuinely be his sister. I wasn't trying to hit on his wife at all. And then Chris Moneymaker chimed in at the last second, like after 24 hours, and says, where I'm from, I said sister or wife, and he says, where I'm from, it can be both. Hashtag just saying. So he was kind of like insinuating it could be his sister and his wife. I wasn't saying that at all.
And I said, to be fair, I actually have a relative who is married to his stepsister or something like that. So it happens. Like I mean, that's what I'm saying. Midwest, it happens. Like they're fucking brothers, they're fucking sisters, they're fucking it's out of line in the Midwest for sure. I don't know if it's out of line like that in UK or out of line that like the West Coast or anything.
No, that's just how they roll in the Midwest. That's it. That doesn't happen here in the UK. No, we have legit kind of families and relationships over here. But
what are you involved in, Will? Wait a second. What are you involved in?
I'm not involved in nothing. I'm just saying quite what you're saying. You're talking about Midwest people marrying their brothers, their stepsisters and stuff. You know, whatever floats your boat. You know, I'm not one to judge anyway.
It happens, man. So I guess was that the main? That was kind of the main point of his comment. It seemed like he was a little on tilt from the incident that took place with his wife, and he was maybe a little bit angry about that and kind of saying some things about you that. And I do think they were mean, but at the same time, he acknowledges that he. They
definitely weren't mean. There's nothing, as Danny Negreanu pointed out, there's nothing mean-spirited about what I say or do on or off the poker table. So I don't have a mean bone in my body. I don't go out of my way to be mean or put people down or hate and break people. That's not my style. So that definitely wasn't. So that's why I had to clear my name in that regard to say that there was nothing mean-spirited about it. I wasn't trying to be mean or rude or anything. Just saying it how it is. Literally, I genuinely asked if she was his sister because I thought she looked like him. It was simple as that. That's the end of it. End of the whole conversation. Literally, I thought it could have been his sibling. So there's nothing to it more than that, like hitting on her or anything like that. So no, just to clear the air. So and it's more embarrassing on his part. And how insecure do you have to be to think that someone was genuinely hitting on your own wife and to air that publicly and put it on a podcast? He was hitting him. Are you kidding me? That just sounds really like pathetic and insecure to even think that someone was hitting on his wife when clearly it wasn't.
Maybe he thought you were actually hitting on his damn wife. I mean, I don't know. I can see getting upset about that. If I bring my wife there, will you hit on her? I don't know. I might feel some type of way. I might come on my podcast and talk about it. So I can understand where he's coming from.
You can do that, and then when you get your wife backing up Will Kassouf instead of you, then that's
divorce. I am dead fucking serious. I'm going to the chapel. That's it. Done. I'm serious. Listen, I'm serious right now. It ain't. I don't know what's gonna happen. It might be something. It's gonna be like we gotta. It's like hands. I mean, I don't know. Listen, I don't know, man. That's some crazy shit right there.
I mean, we have to laugh it off because did you see Shaun Deeb's recent post? Someone else tagged me in it. He tweeted something recently, put up a post on Twitter just like last week, just following on from the whole saga, and obviously Ashley backing me up, and he put a photo up to his credit. I don't know if he's trying to like jump on the banter wagon now and see the funny side of it to give him some credit. He took a photo of his wife, I think, sitting in a restaurant, and he put something along the lines of, yeah, I can't believe I've been 5 years now married to my wife, and who would have thought I'd be this long with her? She's the best sister I could ever ask for, or something along those lines. So, and that was like, oh, fair play. So I had to like and retweet that and put in tag like Chris Moneymaker in. Also, Chris Moneymaker was right when he said it could be a, you know, when he chimed in with his one-liner on Twitter with regards to being sister and wife. So just have a bit of banter. So I think he might be playing along with it now and see the funny side of it. But yeah, he's trying to make up the fact that he was like a bit OOL, so to speak, a bit arrogant, ignorant, and unprofessional at the time when he came out with the outburst.
Well, I still like Shaun. I don't care. Listen, I like that. He's got the attitude. He's got the fire. It's why he's successful at poker. He's very competitive, and he gets fired up and out of line. So
he does. He's a great poker player. I can't knock him. I can't say he was a bad poker player and he's bad or whatever. But I think there's a way of how you conduct yourself, especially when you're going for Player of the Year. You're up there in terms of the poker rankings. People look up to you, and you're a big name in poker. There's a sense of responsibility that you should have, that's attached to you. And I think when he came across in the podcast, was clearly arrogant, ignorant, unprofessional, and the way he just went on a rant like that was uncalled for. And putting players down, accusing me of hitting his wife, that was one thing. But then going on a rant and a rave, saying that I'm really bad for poker, I've got a skill set of a 2-year-old, he hates everything about me, he hates all the coverage ESPN gives me, I should take the little money that I have left and just quit the game and I get another job and it'd be good for everyone all around. I mean, I don't know why he completely lost his shit and just went on for a rant and a rave, but every single point he made was like literally like the worst comment he could have made. And it's like shows just really, really bad etiquette, especially for someone who's notorious for slow rolling and doing the worst thing in poker, complaining about someone being really bad at poker.
Right now, I love slow rolls. I'm saying it right now. People are hating on slow rolls. I want you to slow roll me. I want to slow roll you if I could.
I'll slow roll
epic moments are slow rolling people. I actually love slow rolls. I'm dead serious. I love it when someone slow rolls me. I want to be slow rolled. I actually had a friendship end over a slow roll. So I slow the fuck out of them. But I love slow rolls. So I'm all in on slow rolls personally. But maybe it's because...
Would you do it as maliciously as Shaun Deeb did against Mike Mattisau, for example? Would you have that kind of malicious intent to try and really hurt your opponent?
I would only do it against someone
your opponent wants to punch you in the head? Is that what you're trying to achieve?
I would only do it against someone I'm friendly with or someone I told I'm going to slow roll. Like, but I wouldn't do it against somebody random. That's just mean right there. That's mean. Doing it against somebody random, that's fucked up, man.
That's Shaun Deeb below. So, you know, he's notorious for doing it. So it is what it is. He can do what he wants. You know, I'm not one to judge, but...
Something happened when you guys were doing, because I saw you at the final table. I know you guys were a team coach, right? You guys were a package deal.
Joey, stirring the shit. Stirring that shit. Go. You can keep stirring that pot, Joey.
Wait a second. No, I thought you were at the final table. You were coaching one of the guys. You were coaching Miles, right? You were one of the, and then he
take credit for it.
Did a disagreement on play styles happen? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what happened here. Like FBI investigators on the case trying to figure out what went down.
Okay, if we're going to go along with it, yeah, I was a head coach and, you know, like Shaun was the sub coach and I wanted to call the shots and Shaun and I were having disagreements. I was the big boss and Shaun was like my understudy, you know, so I was teaching him.
What were you doing at the final table, Will? What were you doing there, buddy? What was up with this?
So this is good. No, to be all honesty, no. Shaun Deeb was the coach for Tony Miles. I didn't know that at the time until I went up on the rail. Obviously saw him there, but I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm not going to like hate or berate or be one to judge, like I said. So let him get on with it. If that's his coach, then so be it. I don't hold grudges against anyone or hate or berate any poker player in the world. But it seems like Shaun Deeb has it in for me, even though he hardly knows me. I've only played with him like for like say 10 minutes in the Millionaire Maker this year. Otherwise, before that, I've never met him in my life, never spoken to him in my life. So for him to hate and berate, it's almost like one of those characters like Griffin Benjer and Cliff Josephie and others like that who just never met me for the first time and just blow up the first time they see me because they don't like my playing style with the banter and speech play on the table. But that's another story. We could talk about that later on, maybe. But yeah, we're on the final table for Tony Miles against Johnson. Heads up. It was a few days before that actually. I was just walking through in the Rio hallway, just with a friend of mine, and I was just about to go back to my hotel. And yeah, he was walking down the corridor with his entourage. I didn't know him before that week. I think there were still like eight players or 7 players left on the final table. They're on a break, but they must have been heading back. And he stopped me with his whole entourage. He goes, "Hey, Will." And I looked around thinking, who's calling me? And I recognized this guy. Oh, this is the guy on the feature table, but I didn't really know him. He goes, "Hey, did you see? I just bluffed Johnson on the feature table, 9 high like a boss." I thought, this is incredible. He's like stopped me with his whole crew of like 20 people to tell me that he's just bluffed John Cena with 9 high like a boss on the feature table. And I loved his enthusiasm and the fact that he's young, he's vibrant, he's fresh, and the fact that he's trying to emulate what I did with the whole catchphrase 9 high like a boss, which obviously wasn't planned from me at the time, just came out, and that catchphrase went global, went viral, and probably said in every card around the world. But the fact that he's trying to emulate that stopped me in the Rio corridor to tell me that. And he seemed really a fun character, and I thought, I want to rail this guy. I want to see. Let's see how far he goes. You know, bringing the fun factor back to poker. Seemed really young, fresh vibe that he was bringing, and he was having fun on the feature table. There was 8 players left in the main event playing for $8.8 million, and he stopped him in the corner, telling me you bluffed the guy with 9 high like a boss. I just loved everything about him, the energy that he had, the fun factor. So without even telling him, I thought, I'm going to rail this guy. I'm going to see how he's doing. I was free the next day. I didn't have any tournaments planned. I'd obviously already busted the main, and I had a day off the next day. I was free. I thought, I'm going to rail the guy. And then he went, giving him momentum. I was cheering him on from the rail, having fun, getting people riled up, having drinks on the rail, having fun, getting to know all his other fans and his close family. And he introduced me to his parents. His mum and dad were there. They were really cool, and they seemed to like the vibe and the positive vibes I was bringing and rooting for Tony, even though I barely know the guy. So yeah, I'm that kind of person. I'm approachable, like get on with people. I'm not doing it for the camera time. I wasn't doing it just because of the feature table or some main event. I get enough camera time anyway. I was only on the feature table in the main event for like say 30 minutes on day 2, but the cameras were on me from day 1 or from level 1 of day 1 on the 10K main event, and I wasn't even on the feature table. The camera could just set up shop, just put the camera stand and just press the record button, boom, it was there. And they were like expecting me just to put on a show for the next 3 hours, which was like putting me on the spot, but I'm used to it. So clearly I wasn't there on the feature table, the final table, just for the cameras or to get more showtime or get more airtime, so to speak, when the limelight was obviously on Tony Miles and John Cena when they're playing heads up. But yeah, that was the long and short of it, really, the reason why I was there railing him, just because the fun factor that he was bringing, his enthusiasm, the fun, fresh vibe, and the fact that, you know, he wanted to have fun on the table. He's enjoying himself, even though he's much younger than me, and he's playing for $8.8 million, life-changing money. So that's the reason I wanted to root for a guy who's going to and make poker fun again.
Okay, I like that.
You like that?
I actually think that's why a lot of people are a little bit upset, is that you do get so much airtime and they keep showing you. And I think people sort of say, well, what has this guy done in poker to justify all of this airtime? Because I think people, it's just to be a big thing that kind of happened back in the day, was that people would be known for being characters, basically. They weren't known for their poker ability. And what happened was people that are great at poker, that have got to the highest stakes, that are some of the best in the world, would get upset because they're not getting featured, they're not getting showcased, they're not getting screen time, they're not getting talked about, while these other characters are the ones getting talked about. So I think that's actually a big reason why we see people, and people might disagree with that, but I feel like that's actually the case for some of the people that have been more vocal, is that I think they're just say, hey, why are we giving this guy so much airtime when what has he really done in poker besides go deep in a main event?
Indeed. And you saw like Shaun Deebs rant and rave about, oh, I hate everything about Kassouf. I hate all the coverage ESPN give him. It's really bad for poker. There's so many other stuff in poker that they can show on ESPN. But if that was so true, and ESPN doing such a bad job, and WSB didn't know what they're doing, why ESPN give me the coverage? Surely Shaun Deeb should ask himself, why am I getting that airtime? Why am I getting that coverage? ESPN have been around for years. WSB know what they're doing. Why do you think they're picking up on me? Obviously, I'm bringing the fun factor, the entertainment.
Maybe they think that you're the sexiest man in poker. They want to show the sexiest man that all the women at home rant and rave about. That could be the reason why. I don't know.
It could be, Joey. You never know.
You remember in Excess that one night, you were on the dance floor. That one woman walked up to you, very attractive woman. She said, I know you. And you said, what's up? And you said 9 high like a boss. And I don't know. She looked like she was very interested in you. I don't know exactly what. Listen, I wasn't following y'all around, but I'm saying, man, I don't know. I'm telling you, a sex icon like yourself. Don't downplay it, Poppy. Come on, man. Don't downplay this. Maybe that's why.
Please, Joe. In that regard, that's one thing I like to get it quietly. Calm down.
That was funny. I don't know that I enjoyed that, man. Hey, we're at the Aria. There's people walking up. They're saying, "Hey, 9 high like a boss." So I don't know. It does break into the mainstream. So
I had that every 2 seconds in the reel. Yeah, literally, I couldn't walk more than 2 meters without someone shouting, 9 high like a boss, the coconuts. Hey, my wife loves you. My dog loves you. My husband loves you. Can I get a photo? Can I get a photo? Literally, if I had like $5 or $10 for every photo I had, I'd have the WSB main event buy-in within 24 hours. I shit you not. So that's how sick it was.
Do you like that? Is that something you enjoy when you walk around and people approach you like that? What are your thoughts about that?
It's good. Obviously, it's a good feeling. You know, people coming up to you and they love what you do. You're like an inspiration for them. They come up to you, say, "Oh, forget all those douchebags. You know, a bunch of snowflakes crying about nothing. You be you. Keep doing what you do. You know, keep bringing your energy, your positive vibe, the fun factor to poker. Keep bringing your style and play your game. Don't let the haters get to you. Don't change the way you're playing because people don't like on the table. What you're doing is great. It's making poker fun again, and you have your own unique style and you're enjoying yourself. And if people don't like it and you're using, you know, you're playing your A game effectively, using whatever edge you have, and if you can use that edge and exploit your opponents to the max, that's effectively what poker's all about. You have to use whatever edge you have. To gain an advantage, because it's really tough nowadays with the game developing how it is, and everyone's getting so good at the game, to have an edge in poker. So if you have any kind of edge against your opponent, whether it's speech play or getting under your opponent's skin, the GTO side of thing, whatever edge you have, you've got to exploit and to the max effectively to make it more plus EV for your game and to go as deep as you can in the tournament to win every pot effectively that you're involved in.
What about angle shooting, Will? You a fan of angle shooting? That's getting
not really. I'm not a fan. Listen, I'll put it down now. I'm not a fan of angle shooting, slow rolling, anything which is considered like bad etiquette for the game. So I'm not for any of that. You know, people do it all the time, and people ask me that, but it's not my style. Bottom line is, I like to have fun. I like to enjoy myself at the table. Some people go on tilt because of the banter, the speech, down, non-stop talking, in your face all the time. But it's part of the game. It's a social environment. I always say to people, if they can't take the banter and the speech play, especially playing in such a big event like the WSP 10K main event, the biggest and toughest tournament in the world, if you can't take the banter and speech play on the table, you shouldn't be playing the WSP main event. Because effectively what I've tried to say to the players is, well, effectively mentally, you're not good enough. So if you can't compete at that level, if you haven't got thick enough skin, if you're going to be crying on the table about someone who's having just banter and speech play on the table, when you aren't even insulting or berating anyone on the table, you're just there enjoying yourself by constantly talking at the table and getting inside someone's head, that's part of the game. That's a psychological aspect. If you can't handle that, if you can't deal with that, you shouldn't be playing the WSB 10K main event. And you certainly shouldn't be making day 7 and being such high-profile players in the game, multi-millionaires and multi-bracelet winners, and literally losing your shit over someone talking on the table. It's it's unheard of. It's baffled me at the time, 2 years ago when I saw that. I'd expect that from amateurs. I'd expect that from in $100 tournament players losing their shit. They're just trying to have a fun time, having a drink and whatever, and having a good game of poker. And some guys non-stop talking, doing their head in. Of course, they get angry and they get upset. But when you're playing in a WSB main event and you've got high-profile players, some of the best players in the world, multimillionaires and bracelet winners, losing their shit over someone just talking, having banter on the table, that's incredible. It just played into my hands. I was just loving every moment of it. Even though the whole table was ganging up on me, even though Jack Evil was against me at the time, everyone had it in for me. I had to keep a cool head. It was so tough at the time. Maybe I should made it look easy, but it's really tough at the time, mentally, to keep a cool head and not lose my rag and literally lash out at all these players who have a go at me, lash out at the tournament director and his other floor staff who were getting the decision completely wrong, who had it in for me because I was this one Brit on the table who was pissing off all these Americans. And it's part of the game. I wasn't doing anything wrong. And I think Jack Effel even admitted on camera, I wasn't actually breaking any WSB rules. Granted, I might have been pushing the boundaries to the max. Yes, I may have been bending the rules to the max, but without breaking them. And that's the point. But he had to be seen to be doing something. He succumbed to the pressure of the likes of Josephie and Blesnik and others, the big name players, that he has to be seen to be doing something, because a bunch of Americans were being a bunch of snowflakes on the table crying over a bit of banter speech play. They couldn't take it. So he has to be seen to do something on their behalf and say, right, okay, I'm going to have a word with him. And what I was disappointed about at the time, the only thing that was missing from the WSB ESPN coverage was the fact that, I don't know if you noticed, later on day 7 when 20 players left, you didn't see me talking, and I was involved with a pot with Nowinski, and I didn't say a word, and he was trying to be jokey and laughing with me and, show the bluff, ha, ha, ha. And I didn't say a word, didn't smile, nothing. I just marked my cards and raked in pot after pot, still continued to play my A game and win. But the reason why I wasn't saying a word then was Jack Effel came up to me on the feature table with around 20 players left and said, if this carries on, I'm going to give you a 3-round penalty. I'd already been given a 1-round penalty, as you know, on day 5 against Stacey Madison for what was deemed at the time taunting, which was complete bullshit, because it wasn't. It was literally just telling her, if you fold and show, I'll show. So I got 1-round penalty for that. And then he went up on his high horse, and I tried to explain myself. Says, you're done explaining. If this carries on, you're going to get 2 rounds. So I thought that was a bit power tripping at the time, abusing his authority, and it was uncalled for. He didn't have a cool head and looked as if he was going on tilt, even as a tournament director of the main event. And yeah, the only thing that was missing from day 7 was the fact, like I just pointed out, I was threatened with a 3-round penalty if I carried on doing what I was doing, effectively talking at the table, getting under my opponent's skin, which is part of my game. It's part of poker. So that's what was really disappointing at the time. That kind of killed my game in that regard. I'm not saying that's the reason why I had a bad beat and lost with aces against Ace Jack and blind on blind with ace high flop and top set he makes a flush and then lose king to aces.
No bad beats.
No bad beats towards Baffy, but that killed my game quickly. That's the whole point.
How do you remember all this? Was like 2 years ago, brother. How do you remember all this stuff? You're like detailed by listen. Day 7, I walked in the Rio 1175. I got there by Uber. I was in a Toyota Camry. The guy's name was Steve. He mentioned he wished me luck and he said he'd be watching me because I told him about myself. And I walked in the Rio. It was 2 p.m. I walked in. I got to my table. I had 35 big blinds. On my right was a man from Iowa. He was 37 years old. He came here in a 1K satellite. How do you remember? You remember all the details down. You're very detail orientated on remembering these things, man. I got to say, I'm very impressed. You say what I do tomorrow. Yesterday, I probably couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I've got a good memory. Whenever I've been somewhere or done something, I've got a good memory. I've got good sense of direction. I seem to, remember a lot of things. Anything that I think is significant or important to me, maybe be trivial for others, but it just goes up in it. And I seem to remember things. And yeah.
How's the business of being Will Kassouf in Poker World looking like? Well, the sponsors knocking down the doors. Are you going to be signed with Poker Stars and have a Twitch stream where you're streaming Unfold Poker?
That's it. But I'm coming to sign with Grosvenor Poker in the UK. I mean, it made sense to go with them. Hey, Papi, come back. I'm talking. You listening or what?
I'm listening, Pop. I'm listening. I'm here.
Yeah, so I'm like sponsored by Grosvenor Poker in the UK. Obviously, I live in the UK, play in the UK, so it makes sense to be with them. I think the likes of like Poker Stars and other, a bit bigger name brands, so to speak, more focused on their celebrities kind of thing. They've got like Neymar and they've got like Kevin Hart, the comedian. So they're focusing on those kind of like celebrities, around the world, rather than actually A-list poker players. I think only the top name players from the top of my head that I know is like they've kept on like Daniel Negreanu, Nana Noko, Jake Cody, Liv Bourret. But they've dropped lots of other players. I don't know if they were dropped or they conveniently all just resigned at the same time and quit the game, like Vanessa Selfs, Jason Mercier, Elke, to name a few. They all just like quit Poker Stars and left. So I don't know if that was anything to do with them getting sacked or Amaya Gaming or whoever the management is, and decided to revamp what they're doing and from the poker side of things and looking more to focus about more rake is better and doing other casino games and focusing on other kind of like strategies in terms of making money rather than giving back to the players. I don't know what the PokerStars agenda is. I'm not one to judge, but it just seems to be strange that all these players either were dropped or seem to have left all at the same time. And there's like less and less pros with PokerStars right now.
Do you agree more rake is better, Will?
I don't know about more rake is better. That's the statement that's been put out there. I don't know if for the players more rake is better. I'll probably have to disagree with that. I mean, Doug Polk is the one to ask about whether more rake is better. He seems to be wearing all the t-shirts all the time when he goes on.
Listen, Doug, I don't know if you know about my friend Doug. Doug is a professional Bankroll Challenge streamer and a Fortnite and World of Warcraft 3 streamer right now, I believe. So, and a cryptocurrency expert. No, I'm sorry. Cryptocurrency aspiring expert / podcaster / video creator / content creator / YouTube celebrity. So I don't know how tuned in he is with what's happening with the More Rake is Better movement right now. I don't know how much he's paying attention to it. The man's got a lot on his plate. So he might not be the man to ask. I think you're more in tune with the people, Will. 7,000 person tournament sponsored by Grosvenor? How do you say that?
Yeah, Grosvenor. Yeah, English only, please, in there on the podcast. Grosvenor Poker, yeah.
Grosvenor Poker. Okay. What about other? Do you get offers to go places a lot? Do you have like people from Asia or India saying, "Hey, do you want to come out here for this tournament series?" I get all sorts of weird offers.
I have, the whole of last year, like 888 approached me. Obviously, they patched me up for the main event 2 years ago, and then the following year I was like contacted by them, and they put me in for tournaments. They pay me appearance fees, my flights, hotel, tournament buy-ins, a lot. So that was all last year, obviously following all the coverage from ESPN, and I was like most talked about player in 2016, etc. So yeah, they wanted to jump on the bandwagon, and they had benefit out of that. Obviously, I had the free rolls into the tournament, so it's a win-win for both of us really to get that. But I didn't have any kind of like full-time sponsorship deal or anything like that. So I'm happy just playing poker in the UK. I live in the UK. I'm with Grosvenor Poker. I've been with them for over a year now. So happy with them, but yeah, I'm always keeping my options open. I'm always like just playing my game, continue to do what I do. I get invited all the time, invitationals, different kind of things. I've got invited to like the WPT, the Shooting Stars kind of thing. I couldn't make it unfortunately in that time, but I got invited to that. I've been invited to so many other events around the world, like in Asia and the Asian Poker Tour and different like tag team events representing Team UK. So lots of people want me on their team and want me on coming to play their tournaments, coming to be the bounty, coming to be like the celebrity kind of face in the tournament, willing to pay for me to like travel and go to every tournament around the world. Obviously, it's not going to be feasible for me to go to every tournament and say yes to everyone. I've got my own busy schedule. I've got my own commitments here back home in the UK. and I've got a busy schedule coming up myself over the next few months. So yeah, if and when I can fit it in, if I think it's beneficial to me, if I think it's going to be a well-publicized event, if I think generally it's going to be good for me, good for my brand, furthering the Kassouf brand, furthering my image and good publicity, then obviously I'll go for it. But yeah, I can't accept every invitation and go to every tournament I've been invited to around the world. But it's nice to get invited and keep my options open. And yeah, just go with the flow and do what I can and just enjoy the game for what it is.
God bless America.
God bless America. All right.
God bless America right there, man. Did they say the stream went down right now? Did it?
It's still live from where I'm sitting.
Still live. Still live for me too. I don't know. Let me see. Let me check on here. Yeah, it still says live for me too. I don't really know what's happening right now, but yeah, stream's running fine. I don't know what people are talking about right now. So
that's it. Well, people commenting in the chat. Can you see the chat?
Yeah, comments? I can see the chat, man. Let me get some shout outs out there, man. Who we got in the chat right now? Let me see what we got out here. We have there's no DDoS. This is no DDoS attack. This is not ACR. There is definitely no DDoS. Yeah, press live if you're in here. Who we got in the chat? Wayne Chang's in the chat right now. Matt Yasin. What's up, Matt? Con Devil, Ryan Gomez, Kush Strain, Man Deep, Pawar out there in the chat. Paul Christian. We got a lot of comments out here. A lot of interesting comments back and forth right now, Will. A lot of interesting comments back and forth for sure. What's kind of your poker goals? You think about goals at poker. You have any goal? Do you work at your game a lot? Are you putting in a lot of hours? Are you trying to move up stakes, or where do you kind of sit from a standpoint of poker?
Listen, I just go around just like playing the same stakes, usually the same tournaments every year. I seem to have a similar schedule each year. There might be one or two tournaments that I'll fit into my schedule that I haven't played before. That we won, for example, like the Aussie Millions, obviously the other side of the world, going all the way to Melbourne, Australia to play the Aussie Millions. Never been to Australia. Would love to go. Have heard great things about it. Not just that, New Zealand as well. I heard it's really picturesque and more beautiful than Australia. So obviously I'd love to tour around both. I wouldn't travel all the other side of the world, best part of 24 hours to get there just to play a tournament like the Aussie Millions and fly back home to London. I'd obviously tour around Australia, New Zealand, hopefully go up to Japan because I've got family there that I haven't seen for years. So I'd love to go that part of the world and do that. So that's one thing I might factor in. Lots of people have been asking me already for over the last 6 to 12 months. Am I coming to Aussie Millions this year? Am I coming? I couldn't make it last year. Went to the Bahamas last year to play the PCA or the PokerStars Championship at the time. I think this year I might try, or in January next year, I might try and make the effort to go to Aussie Millions just to go that part of the world and maybe take a month or so off to tour around. You need at least a month or two, I think, to benefit most from going that far away and going that part of the world, really. So that's one thing I might add to my schedule. Otherwise, I usually have the same schedule year in, year out. Similar tournaments that's scheduled each year in the same time of the month. For example, one big tournament coming up in the next 2 weeks is EPT Barcelona, which is like one of the, if not the biggest tournament in Europe outside the WSOP. It's massive. The sheer numbers they get, the location. It's the middle of summer, end of August, by the marina with the bars, the nightclubs, the beach, everything right next to the casino. Obviously, it's a PokerStars event, but just a massive number of runners. It's just ridiculous in terms of how many they get. They have the 1K national to begin, and they get like 3,000 runners for that. They've got the 5K main event. They get like 3,000 players for that. So you do the maths in terms of the prize pool. It's ridiculous. And they got 10K high roller, which gets like 600-700 runners for a 10K. So you don't get that everywhere around the world. So it's one of these festivals where they're big buying events. They're not like Mickey Mouse. They're not like small buying events. But if you can satellite in, even better. You know me, in for the min to get the max. I'll certainly be playing satellites when I'm out there. Certainly for the 5K main event and for the 10K high roller if I did bust the main. But those kind of festivals you want to go to. Those are the kind of festivals where you can even satellite in, whether you do get in for cheap or you're buying for the full amount. If you go deep, it takes one final table, one result, and one decent tournament like that can set you up for at least a year or two, if not for life, if you end up winning it. So it's one of those that you factor in and you got to play. It's one of those yearly kind of thing, like the WSP main event. It's like a yearly thing. Every summer, people have that on the calendar. It's like EPT Barcelona would be a yearly thing for me. You got to go because it's so close to home. It's less than 2 hours, 2-hour flight, and it's Barcelona in the summer. You can't really go wrong. So yeah, that's on my agenda in terms of my immediate plans for the forthcoming future. But otherwise, yeah, just enjoy myself. Just keep playing the same stakes. I'm not looking to move up stakes, even though won loads of money. People say, oh, you had your big win in the WSOP. You won 338K. Hashtag sick brag. Hashtag just saying. And then I went on to win.
How much did you win?
Sorry?
How much did you win?
And the WSOP main was like $338,000. And then play the 10K satellited into the 10K high roller in Prague, which was at the time the last ever EPT 10K high roller. Cut long story short, got through over 400 players, which is of the toughest field in Europe, if I could say so myself. It was really tough compared to the WSB main event. It's literally the best players in Europe, and managed to hold my own. I short stacked the whole of day 2 and day 3, and I was 9th in chips on the final table with obviously 9 left, and I managed to get all the way to heads up. Did a deal heads up, chopped it on ICM basically, and took first place, the title and trophy of the last ever EPT 10K. In Prague. So that was on my birthday, no less. So it's good. It's more from a commercial point of view before people ask, oh yeah, you done a deal for the trophy, etc. Blah, blah, blah. Haters gonna hate, etc. But yeah, more for the commercial point of view, further in the Kassouf brand, wrapping up the year, taking home a title and trophy on my birthday. That's what it was all about. You know, for me, when I play any tournament, obviously it's nice to win a big sum of money. You play a tournament, you're always looking for top prize. You play a tournament to win. You're not playing to min cash. You're not playing to ladder up. You're playing to win the tournament. So your eyes are on the prize. Your eyes are always on top prize. When registration is closed, everyone looks to see what's top prize. What am I playing for here? How much money can I win? Obviously, only one person going to win it if you win it outright. That's the brutal nature of like tournament poker. But eyes are on the prize. You're looking at top prize. You're looking to win the tournament. You're not there to min cash or ladder up, like I say. So yeah, but for me, it's not about the money. It's more, when you're playing tournament poker, it's more about the challenge for me, getting through a whole field of players, outwitting your opponent, outplaying the 8 players or so that you have on the table at any one time, getting to that final table, getting through a whole field of players, you know, mixed players, some great players, some really amateur players, mixed bag of players, and get through all of those, you know, a minefield like that gives you that sense of achievement, getting there and winning a tournament outright, taking home that title and trophy. For me, regardless of how much money you're playing for me, winning that title, that trophy, means more to me than any money in the world. Money comes and goes. It's just cash money. And it's nice to have it in your bank to look at. You can spend it on nice things, a house, a car, a dog, whatever you want. But end of the day, money is just money. You can't take it with you to heaven. But a trophy and a title is for life, and no one can take that away from you. So for me, winning trophies, doing deals, whatever, and having that to your name, a title and trophy to your name, means more to me than any kind of money. And you asked me what my goals are, my aspirations, etc. Going along with that point, if like the dream, touch wood, is to win the WSB main event. That's every poker player's dream. You're not going to lie and say, I don't want to win the main event. I'll let someone else do it. Of course you want to win the main event. When you play No Limit Hold'em, you want to play the World Series Poker main event if you haven't played it. And if you have played it, you want to make the money. And if you've made the money, you want to make the final table. And if you've made the final table, you want to go on and win it. And you want to be the world champion for that year. You want to make a name for yourself. I am the WSB main event champion 2018, 2019, whatever it is. So you're playing to win. And for me, if I win, say next year, it was $9 million and I won $9 million high like a boss, then I'll be buzzing. Obviously, it'll be $9 million in my pocket. It'll be $9 million tax-free from the UK. Hashtag sick brag, hashtag just saying. And I'll probably be having like 90% of myself. Yeah, there you go. That's just me. Yeah, if I did, then that'll be it. Uncle Sam won't be touching a penny, won't have to pay a penny to the IRS, and Inland Revenue won't touch a penny either. So God bless the UK, man. God bless the UK. But yeah, but the bottom line is, if I won that kind of money, if you're comparing it just to compute $9 million, for me, I'm not just saying this, if I can be an inspiration to like 9 million people around the world, to bring 9 million more players into the game, more recreational players, to bring the fun factor back to poker, to get more recreational players into the game, because that's what poker needs to keep the poker economy going. You need the recreational players in the game. It's no good that all the top players are just like playing against each other in these high rollers and they're getting all the money up top. You need recreational players coming into the game, bringing the fun factor back to poker. And if I can be an inspiration to say 9 million players to come back into poker and to play the game for what it is and bring the fun factor back to it, that would mean more to me than $9 million in my personal bank account. So that's the bottom line. It's like money comes and goes. It's the bigger picture is having fun at the table, bringing recreational players back into the game, bringing the personalities, the characters back to poker. That's what poker needs if it's going to be like a mainstream sport, if it's going to be on ESPN, if it's going to be as big as NHL, NFL, and all these American sports that you have. Why can't we have poker as a mainstream if you make it fun and exciting? Like people are talking about the clip against me and Griffin Benja. It wasn't about the cooler. It wasn't about aces versus kings and two hands colliding. It was bigger than that. It was a case of like two poker personalities clashing in the biggest arena of poker, in the World Series Poker main event, in 2 tables left, with 17 left, playing for like $8 million. And you see two personalities clashing. That's what poker was all about. You see two personalities, 2 different styles of playing, and it just the whole thing was lit. And it was a bit of a toxic environment, but made for great TV, made for entertainment. And that's what it's all about. If you're talking about 2018 going forward, TV poker, live poker, this is what live poker is all about. This is what live poker needs. It's not about these socially inept individuals sitting there with this hoodie, sunglasses, headphones, saying nothing for 8 hours, 10 hours a day. That's what's not good for poker. Just sitting there and saying nothing. It's a social environment. It's a social game. Like I said, I'm not asking everyone to be an extrovert and constantly chatting nonstop and getting into your opponent's head and putting players on tilt. I'm not asking everyone to say that. You play your style. Everyone's got their own style of playing. but at least like open up at the table, have a conversation, say hello to your neighbor, speak to, especially to the player on your left who's going to have position on you the whole day, especially if you're going to have blind on blind situations. You want to put your opponent at ease, like have an icebreaker. So then maybe he might even soft play against you. He won't be like trying to go out there and out to get you. You know, you could be having a banter and you might like the guy, he might like you, and you might not have to play like hardball against someone who's got position on you for the whole day. So it's that kind of thing, small little things like that, psychological things. And like I said earlier in the podcast, you can like engage your opponent to find out exactly what kind of player they are. Are they an amateur? Have they played this game before? Are they experienced? Have they played the main event? How much does a min cash mean to them? Does 15K mean a lot to them? Did they satellite in? Did they buy him for 10K? Would they be willing to like reload or re-enter if they could? You know, what kind of players are they? Could you put the pressure on them later on in the tournament? So just by speaking to your opponent, literally just small things like that, just general conversation, there's so much information you can pick up and get, and you can use that to your advantage later on in the tournament, just by basically talking to them and having just a basic conversation, not even about strategy or trying to outspeech them or bluff them in a hand. Even in between hands, there's so much information you can pick up from your opponents just by being observant and talking to them. So it works for me. It's not going to work for everyone, but I definitely recommend that, especially being in a social environment. This is what live poker is all about. It's 2018, time the poker world woke up and brought back some more characters and personalities to the game, because that's what the game needs right now.
People said, "Am I still here? I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm taking it in." Will's fired up. Will's trying to set a world record right now for most words spoken without taking it. Bill, you speak. You might. I'm serious. You might be able to like be like the sickest rapper of all time. I feel like you could be this incredible fast one of those like Logic, like you know, I don't know what the fuck you're saying, but I feel like you could be a rapper. Do you want to have a rap off?
I could do. I haven't tried it myself. I like to think I'm good with words. People say I'm a poet and don't know it, but yeah, I'm pretty good with words, rhyme words. I like to use alliteration when I'm putting posts on you know, on social media. I like to have fun with words, play with words, and you got to be like smart to like outwit your opponent and come out with some expressions and be fun. And
good at poker, not talk. I mean, fuck, you know, I don't know. Like, I'm fine not talking too. It's a balance. Like, I don't want everyone to go there and be like, and everyone's talking. It's like, oh, no, okay, what's up? Okay, no, we're coconut, and then like 9 people are fucking yelling coconuts back and forth. I don't really think I'd be wanting to see that. You know, I think a nice balance of some people talking about the coconuts, some people maybe sitting there and jacking off on their iPad, watching Logan or whatever it is they do at the table. I actually think I've seen that one time, but I feel like, you know, a nice mixture of both. I see both sides. I think you need a Will Kassouf, and then maybe you need a young Prince Federer. You know, Federer doesn't talk, talks a little bit. He's got his personality kind of thing going on there. You need a little both of there.
You got to have a bit of balance, yeah. You don't have this loudmouth individual that's just mouthing off, like being a douchebag, and like the opposite end of the spectrum. You have someone like #King. I don't know what's happened with him recently.
Come on, let's not talk about him no more. Come on, no. We can't. No. This ain't 2016, bro. This ain't 2000. We can't talk about him no more. We can't. He's done.
But someone who's like in your face, was giving it large, was being arrogant and talking a lot, but in a bad way, and he got a lot of hate. So is
it a coincidence that him and Shaun Deeb got into an incident as well too on a stream, or is that not a coincidence? It's that him and. Do you know that? Do you remember that?
I don't know exactly what happened. I had lots of.
Oh my god! I should have told you. Oh no.
That's it. You carry on. It's your podcast. You say what
fucking models. That was a saying that was said on a stream. I believe by #King. I think Doug was an assistant there too for that one. So yeah.
Well, that's in the past anyway. So yeah, I think he might be part of history now. But
yes,
yeah, ultimately.
I'd like to know who can talk longer, Will or Barry. I want to put you and Barry Greenstein in a room talking to each other. I want to see who I am dead serious. I want to see how that conversation goes. I
spoke to Barry, actually. I had a decent conversation with him as we were queuing up to go to the gents. I actually used him in a way to avoid queuing up with like 258 people in the queue for the restroom in the main event. I saw Barry Greenstein. I thought I'd make it, hey, it's Barry Greenstein, ladies and gentlemen, round of applause. And I went to shake Barry's hand. I ended up talking with him. And before I knew it, I was on the front of the queue in the restrooms. Obviously, I let him go first. But that kind of helped me out because I was like getting stopped for like selfies all the time and photos every 2 seconds. I couldn't even go to the restroom. That's how sick it was. People asking me for photos. I couldn't even leave the room without people. Hey, I saw you on the other table. I didn't want to bug you while you're playing. Can I get a selfie? Can I get a selfie? And it's like, I can't say no. You're on a break and kind of thing. I need to go to the restroom, but they want to have a photo with you, and you can't say no to this fan. So it's tough. It's tiring dealing with that all the time, but it's part of the game. I brought it on myself. I did what I did, and these are like, I've got to deal with the consequences in a good way in terms of hundreds of thousands of people asking me for a photo all the time. So it does get tiring.
Hundreds of thousands.
Not in one go, but over the last 2 years, yeah.
Hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of that. You won't believe it. Yeah. Ask Phil Helmuth. I was at his book signing, and we did a deal. I was doing a shout out to Phil. He was doing his book signing. We did a deal that buy his book for like $25 and you get a free photo with me and Phil. So people were just queuing up buying his book and wanted to come in between Phil and I and have a photo with both of us. So yeah, that's it. Hashtag being the greatest. So here's a plug for Phil Helmuth. So yeah, being a character, being a personality of the game, that's what it's all about, you know. People watch poker on TV, you see the ESPN coverage, they've seen it from 2 years ago. I'm not trying to, blow my own trumpet here, but they're saying like the WSB coverage in 2016 was like the best coverage in the last decade since Jamie Gold in 2006. It's been really dull, mundane. People just like, 3-betting, 4-betting, whatever, playing good poker, but not saying a word on the feature table. It's really intense, but really like dull to watch because no one was saying a word. It wasn't exciting. It wasn't entertaining. And they thought it's a breath of fresh air. When I came in 2016, shook the poker world up, the whole controversy, getting a penalty which wasn't right, got the whole world talking. I had people like Daniel Negreanu coming on my side and saying that I was right, Jack Effel was wrong, and it made a whole discussion about it. And the whole poker world, woke up and everyone was talking about it. I was on Alex Torelli and Doug Polk and even Joe Ingram himself, Papi, was calling me up to have me on this podcast to talk about what the hell's going on. It's like a big controversy and the big hoo-ha. Who is this loudmouth Brit coming on and kicking up a storm in the WSB main event? And it just went from there. So the last 2 years have just been phenomenal. I'm not going to take credit myself for the sheer numbers increasing, but the numbers have gone up. 2016 to 2017, 2018. The main event is this year just gone. It was the second biggest main event in history with 8,700 odd in the main event. I won't be surprised if next year they're going to get over 9,000 players and the top prize is going to be at least $9 million, if not $10 million or something like that. So it seems like the poker is booming. More and more people are coming into the game, more recreational players coming to the game, more players playing live poker, wanting to qualify, wanting to play for the big bucks, wanting to get in the World Series of Poker, wanting to make a name for themselves and going deep in the main event and ultimately having fun and doing whatever they can just to get their name out there.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm reading the comments. They're hilarious today, Will. They're funny.
Go on. Sharing is caring, Joey. Don't be shy. Go on, read out some of the comments.
And why he says, Joey, you should do another load of laundry. Coincidentally enough, I was actually doing laundry earlier today. So that's why that one made me laugh there. Let's see. NEMO says there's no way to do what he does without knowing very well the rules. Ross Clark, imagine trying to work out your backdoor quadra among others and Will just interrogating you. It's true. Sasha says contest idea. You ask Barry Greenstein and Will questions. You has the longest answer.
Marvelous. I'm quite meticulous and thorough. If you ask me a question, I'll give you a proper answer. I won't be like,
I like the answer.
Like, yes,
you make my job easy, Pop. I mean, I say my job.
But why you invite me on the podcast? I'm not gonna make it hard for you. You're gonna ask me a question. I'm gonna be like, yes, and then you ask me the next question. I'll be like, yeah, 50. And you ask me the next question. I said, well, I kind of think so, but yeah, I'll have to see how it goes. I'll give you a more in-depth and thorough answer, and I'll be meticulous in everything I say. So
hell yeah,
that's it.
Amen.
You ask a question, I'll give you an answer, proper Big Willie style.
Believe me, I know you're going to give me an answer, Will. I know it. And if you don't
you don't ask, you don't get in life.
Will, you ever met Timmy before?
Who?
Timmy, you ever met Timmy? Timmy's is a friend of mine. He's a recreational poker player. Will, you know those guys on YouTube and on Twitter, Instagram who always comment like, "Oh, that guy's a douchebag," or "I would have folded," or "This guy sucks." You know those guys like that? That's Timmy.
The online knitbag keyboard warriors. Yeah, I know them.
Yes, that's him. He's an internet poker warrior, Timmy. Do you want him to ask you a question? I can go grab him real quick.
Online knitbag keyboard warriors?
Yeah, I got him. He's here right now. Timmy's here. You want me to go, Timmy?
Oh, I don't know. I might have to see face to face one of these moody online knitbag keyboard warriors. What they look like. They're always keyboard warrior bashing.
Well, let me get you a question. I'll go grab Timmy for you. Okay?
Is he a Kassouf lover or a Kassouf hater? Before we get the party started,
I don't know. We're gonna find out. I think Travis Shell says, "Didn't Will slow roll a guy on Live at the Bike?" That's true, Will. Didn't you slow roll a guy, Timmy?
And he just drops the mic and just leaves the room. Yeah, marvelous.
Gentlemen, I can hear you. Believe me, I can hear you on my entire apartment right now.
Marvelous. As long as you can hear me. No. If you watch that slow roll Live at the Bike, no, that was like a one-off. It was like a home game. I'm even speaking to Joey. All I can see is a mic in his chair. But I know you guys can hear me. But yeah, if you watch the clip from the slow roll Live at the Bike, that is completely different to anything like Shaun Deeb or anyone else does in terms of actually slow rolling and being malicious in what they say I do. It's done in a fun environment. It's almost like a home game. I told the guy what I had from the start that I had quad sixes. I still think it's hilarious that I'm going on and Joey's even sitting there. Joey's like longing it out on purpose. He can hear me. He knows exactly what's going on. He's just letting me talk to an empty chair and an empty mic. Papi, come back. What's happening, man? You're still alive. Sit your ass down.
Will? What's up, Will? Got my Miller Lite here. What's up, Will? Got my peanuts. Eating healthy. What's up, baby? I'm Timmy.
Is that the peanuts, the monkey nuts, or the coconuts?
I got my Miller Lite, Timmy. What's up, Will?
Listen, I've helped you improve your game, right?
I got some questions for you, Will. Listen, I think you're one of the best poker players in the world. All these douchebags hating on you, Will. They're crazy. What are they thinking? You play so well. I saw you had kings and you goaded them. You got them so well. You said, I think I got a fold. I think I got a call. I think I got a fold. I've been doing that at the casino. I've been crushing these fucking fools, man. I've been crushing them. I want to say I'm a big fan. I'm Timmy. My name's Timmy. It's nice to meet you, Will. Big Tim here. You know what it is. I'll fucking crush your heads up, but I'm a fan.
Marvelous. Good job, Joey. Good job. God bless America. All right.
What are you talking about right now? Will, do you think you're a douchebag? That's my question for you.
Do I think I'm a douchebag?
Douchebag. Do you think you're a douchebag?
I'd like to think I'm not. No.
Okay.
I like to think I'm good for the game and I bring the fun back to poker. That's what it's all about.
Man, I'll go on your Twitter. I'll comment all the time on your photos, man. If you say the wrong thing here, you're not. I don't think you're a dude. I think you're a good guy. I think you're a sweet guy, Will. I like watching you. I'm a big fan. Timmy. If you see me in the comments, my name on Instagram's Timmy Poker Warrior. I'm gonna be one of the best. I'll be on Joey's podcast one day. Okay.
That's it. Okay. Thanks, Timmy. Yeah, I appreciate it. Good job.
Let me get some more. Let me get Joey back. Hold on.
Yeah, go have a coconut smile, man. Go have a coconut smile. Put that beer down.
Nice to meet you, Willie, okay?
You too, Timmy.
You're
doing great. Good job, man. You're good to go. You're good to go. All right.
Damn, Timmy, calm down, bro.
Sorry, Joey, sit your ass.
That's Big Tim.
Sit your ass down, right? Joey, Papi, you're back.
That was Timmy. That's my friend Timmy. He's he's up and coming player, Will. Okay, you got to give the kid credit. All right, he's trying out there. He's giving it a chance, and
you got to keep trying, Joe. You got to keep trying. That's it.
He's trying, man. Let me get some questions from the chat out here, guys, and then we might wrap it up here a little bit. Who else we got in the chat right now? Poker Bratster Anja's in the chat. What up, Big Papi? What's happening? Angela Tate in the chat. What up, Angela? What's happening?
That's Anya from Belgium. Yeah.
What do you say?
Seems to be my #1 fan in Belgium for sure. Anya Desel. Big up Anya. Poker Bratster online, yeah.
Oh. Fan of yours, huh?
Big fan. Well, she's got her profile picture with me. She's got her cover photo with me. She's put other people's cover photos with me. So yeah, too many fans.
What? Stu Gott's in the chat. Gris P, Man Deep Poker in there. What up, Puppy? Sneaky Nuts. Timmy versus William. Heads up for rolls. 1 cent, 7 set. Listen, man, I'm not sure if Will and Timmy are ready for that battle out there. Who else we got in here, man? You want to give some shout outs, Will? You want to give a shout out to anybody out there? That's for you. Just
shout out to everyone listening, everyone who's plugged in, all my friends from back home, all the players and punters that I know around the UK, especially all around the world that are tuning in. They've seen my social media posts, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, seen that this is going ahead. I know we had a bit of a delayed start with technical difficulties going live. It's never easy doing a live podcast like this with no holds barred. You never know what you're going to get. So a slight delay on that, but I'm sure it's been worth it for the fans. And yeah, big up to all the fans. Keep doing what you're doing. Thanks for all the support, the love and support and everything. I know that you love what I'm doing in terms of bringing the fun factor back to the game. So yeah, keep doing that as well. We want to see more of that on the live poker scene and just enjoying yourself playing the game that we all love.
Amen to that. What do you got playing? Where can the fans can expect to see you over this next month? You gonna be playing any streams? You gonna be doing anything like that? Can they expect something from you, or what's the current what's the plan for this month coming up? That's it.
I've mentioned EPT Barcelona. There's a couple of tournaments in London that I'm going to play in the next couple of weeks. They're like fairly small tournaments, but great value tournaments in terms of the buy-in and the prize pool you can expect to win. You could literally more than 100 extra money in terms of the buy-in. So it's well worth doing, well worth playing. They're both in London, the 25-25 series in London, and then the London Deep Stack. And then following that, I'll be off to the EPT Barcelona to play the festival there. That's always good. So yeah, a lot of things coming up, back to back festivals. Barcelona being the main one, and there's a few other tournaments, locally in the UK and abroad that I'll be playing as well. Juicy festivals coming up. But in terms of the World Kassouf brand and the publicity and furthering that, there's a few things in the pipeline. I can't divulge any information right now, but there are a few things in the pipeline. Look, he's woken up now. I could be bringing out. There could be some kind of like speech play videos coming up.
Speech play videos. Oh my God. I already know. I can do the video right now. I know what the speech play video is right now.
$9.
I can make the video today.
Oh, you're gonna have to pay for it. This shit ain't free. This is like valuable information.
I know how to do speech play. How hard is it to go there and just not say, just talk constantly for 2 hours? That's easy. I could do that right now. Are you for real?
That's the easy part. That's the start. It's almost like poker. You know, easy game to learn, extremely difficult to master. So
listen, I can make a 1 hour video right now doing speech play for 1 hour straight easily. It's not. I don't think it's hard. I don't think speech play is hard. It's just a matter of, do you want to do it? Do you want to get people fired up like that and see their reaction? Because that's I'd
love to see you do it in the main event, Joe. Doing it for 12 hours a day.
Why would I even want to do that? Well, I'm trying to sleep, bro. I'm trying to rest. I'm trying to get there and
what, you don't want to win $9 million?
What do I want to talk for 12 hours for? That just sounds exhausting.
What, you don't like money? Obviously you don't like money then. You don't want to win $9 million. I want to win money, $9 million.
I've never even played the main event. I play the great game of Pop Limit Omaha. I do not play this. What is this? What is this? I don't play this main event.
Main event. This is it. WSB main event per beat. Listen, I've taught you well on GTO. You taking up my strategy, GTO strategy, right? You know the gambling with the nuts, with the redraw to the monkey nuts, to river the absolute coconuts. That's actually PLO strategy. You're gambling with the nuts on the flop. You've got the redraw to the monkey nuts on the turn, to river the absolute coconuts on the river. You want to have the absolute coconuts on the river. Don't get it twisted. Don't have the absolute coconuts on the flop. It's no good, because someone's always going to have the redraw to the monkey nuts to river the absolute coconuts. You with me? Do you see the clip on ESPN? Gambling with the nuts with the redraw to the monkey nuts to river the absolute coconuts. Nuts, monkey nuts, coconuts. No. You see that clip? That was in WSB 2016. That's it. Per P. That's PLO strategy right there. In a nutshell. Just think about it. Nuts, monkey nuts, coconuts.
That's a very bad strategy then. If that's strategy, that's strategy. Far.
I almost use that PLO strategy to play no limit hold'em as well. So it's always good. You want to have the absolute coconuts on the river, then you can't lose. You might have a split pot if someone else is lucky enough to have the absolute coconuts too. But if you got the absolute coconuts on the river, you can't lose. That's the bottom line. So you learned something today, right?
If you have the absolute coconuts on the river, you can't lose.
Yep.
Dare I say?
There is.
Oh, right there. Well, that's some
right there,
brother.
Absolute coconuts on the river. Don't have it on the floor.
Fuck, man.
It's a skill. It's a skill that you'll get over time. You'll learn, Joey. You'll learn.
Get that nut. So when you play poker, you're playing to get that nut on every hand you play. It sounds like nut. You want all the nut you can get. I get it.
And if you can't have that nut because it's not possible, and you get dealt 9 high, then obviously it's going to be the other end of the spectrum, and you're going to have to bluff no matter what it takes. Put your opponent all in with 9 high like a boss. You can't make it up. But the same speech, the same spiel, the same way you're acting, the same betting. And doing everything the same, but one hand coconuts, next hand 9 high like a boss. You can't make it up. You got to mix it up and be.
We call that. Dare I say, that's a very GTO strategy you have there. Well, you're very balanced in terms of when you show up with the nut, or when you show up with the
coconut,
the circumcised nut, whatever fuck you want to call it. I don't know, the circumcised coconut, something like that. Whatever you want to call the fucking thing right there. I like it, man. My mind's blown right now. It's pretty crazy.
That's it, Joey.
I wish I was high for this podcast. This is good stuff. My mind would be fucking blown right now if I was a little
high, because people ask me a lot. He talks so much. He's like a million miles an hour. He's got so much energy, so much buzz. He must be on something. I must compare that. I am something. Can you smell that, Joey? Can you smell that right now where you are? It's called oxygen, man. Oxygen is free and it's unlimited. Can you see that in abundance? Make the most of it, man. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Take it in, breathe in. Best life for free, man. Make the most of it. You see that? Buzzing.
Damn.
That's it. That's all I need. AOW, man. Adrenaline, oxygen, water.
That's life right now. All right, I'm ready to go, Will. I'm ready to go. I like what you're saying, Will. I like what you're saying a lot. You say a lot of really good things to me, and I like what you're saying. I think that it's great for poker. It's nice to hear that you're leading the charge for poker. You're leading the charge back for poker. You're leading the charge to make poker happen. Coconut, monkey nuts, monkey nuts. 9 I like a boss. So I show up. I play poker. I go play PLO. I go play PLO. I get 4 cards. I go sit down. I go play. I want to play. I want to play more hands. I want to play fast. I want to play good. I want to play well. I want to play strong. I get it, Will. I get where you're coming from. And God fucking bless.
There we go, Joe. Now you know, but you got to do
it.
You have to do that for 12 hours a day for 7 days straight to get to the final table in the main event.
Wait, let me take in some of the drug. I got it. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to play. I'm ready to go.
That's it. AOW, baby. Adrenaline, oxygen, water. That's all you need. That's all to survive in the main event.
I'm feeling tired.
In the main event.
I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling
no food.
Everybody in the chat, what's up? It's nice to see you guys here. Sneaking nuts in the chat, Slippy Friends in the chat, Pawnies in the chat, Heads of in the chat. What's up, guys? Nice to see you here. We're happy to have you here. Happy to join you for the Kassouf podcast. Me, Join Your Money, aka Chicago Joy, aka Big Poppy, aka Poppy TTO, aka PLO God, aka Sex God, aka me. And we're happy to have you here for 12 hours. 12 hours. I don't know how you do that, Will. I can't do that. How do you even think what you're going to say? It's crazy. How do you know?
That's it. I think what I say and I say what I think.
Crazy. How do you do that? How can you know what you're going to say? That's a talent right there, my friend.
Even I don't know what I'm going to say. It just comes out. Do you know what I mean? So when I say people playing the main event, 10K main event, if you can't take the banter and speech play, you shouldn't be playing the main event. You know, because mentally you're not good enough. So I'm thinking to myself, you know, this ain't a $100 pump pass on a Friday night in low card with a bunch of schmucks. Do you know what I'm saying, Geezer? That's what I'm trying to say. Do you understand what I just said? Like, you got to fix up. You got to have thick skin. You got to have thick skin if you're playing a game. You can't be a bunch of snowflakes trying a bit of banter speech play if you're playing the 10K main event, the biggest and toughest tournament in the world. I'll say to these players that are moaning and bitching about, you know, crying on the table about banter and speech play on the table that don't like it and going on tilt, saying effectively, you know, you're not playing a recreational game in your local card room. So say, this ain't a $100 pump pass on Friday night in local card room, a bunch of schmucks. Do you know what I'm saying, Geezer? So if I had to break that down for the hard of hearing, because some people might not have understood what I just said, basically what I just said in plain, you know, using the Queen's English is, this isn't a $100 punt fest on a Friday night in your local card room with a bunch of schmucks. Do you know what I'm saying, Geezer? That's effectively what I just said, but just a bit quicker to save some time on the podcast because we're going out live, right? This ain't a $100 punt fest on Friday night in local card room with a bunch of schmucks. You know what I'm saying, Geezer? So it just rolls off the tongue, you know? You with me? You with me, Joey?
I think I can talk faster than you. I think more about it. I don't think you talk that fast.
Well, I just thought this is my normal way of talking. I'm not trying to like put it on. I try and speak fast. I like try and get my point across. But if I spoke really slowly and said what I had to say in all the detailed answer I gave you, then I'd literally be spending like 20 minutes to give you one answer instead of 10.
So you've learned how to speak this fast over time because you give such detailed answers in terms of when someone asks you a question. So instead of answering a question like, what'd you do today? I went to the store. You, from a young age, said, well, I woke up at 7. I got here. So instead, you wanted to fit all that in, but you realized that you'd be talking for so long. So that way you sped up your thought process and your talking process. And you got real good at that over time because you just have when you tell a story, you tell it with so much detail and so much passion and so much energy, and you really paint a picture like we're there. Like I feel like I'm at the 2016 World Series of Poker main event final table when you tell that story because you paint it with so much detail. You're around the edges, you're precise, you're filling in the trees, you're showing me what color the leaves are. Whereas some people tell a story, they just tell you what day it was, but you're painting the entire picture. And you realize at that young age, you wanted to showcase your picture to the world in its entirety. And the only way you could do that was by speeding up your lingo just a little bit than the average lad. And then we ended up here, modern day William Kassouf, aka the negotiator, aka the sex icon, aka Big Willie style, 9 high like a boss, coconut monkey nuts. I like that a lot, Will. Amen.
That's it, Papi. That's it. It's basically the computer. It's the computer head up here. It's the gift of the gap here. And it's the heart of a lion here. That's what it's all about. Those three triple combo. I'll just come out with what I say. So what you see is what you get with me. So it is what it is. Just me being me.
I like that a lot. We got to take one more question from the chat, guys. Then we're going to wrap things up. I got to go to sleep. And by go to sleep, I mean, actually, probably I'm going to go to sleep because I only slept for 1 hour for this podcast. I'm trying to fix my sleep schedule. And I made a bet today, a free roll, made out a bet. I have to be up. I have to check in at 9 a.m. every day. Otherwise, I have to shave my head. And I forgot the other thing. I have to shave my head and something else. I can't remember right now. But yeah, that's it. One more question from the chat. That's it. Joey, Sasha says, Joey, I challenge you to find a question that can get a short answer from Will.
Good luck, Joey.
Okay. I challenge Joey. Wow, that's a tough one.
It's not a tough one, Joey. You can ask me a specific question. I can only really give you a specific answer. Shall I help you out, Joey?
Do you like to do cocaine?
I don't do cocaine.
Okay, perfect. That's it. I got one. Bam, I won. What do I get for winning? Sasha knows what I get for winning. Come on. Okay, GBR breakdown. Will's favorite and least favorite player. I like that a lot.
My favorite and my least favorite?
Favorite player and least favorite player, yes.
Maybe I have to say my favorite player being Daniel Negreanu, just for his table presence, his speech play, table talk kind of thing, thinking out loud, putting his opponents on hands. And really, you get an insight of what he's thinking at the time and what kind of hands he's putting his opponents on. I like to think I do a similar thing to he does. Obviously, he's got his own style. I got my own style. I mean, other people, I don't know if I take it as a compliment. I guess I do when people say I'm the British Daniel Negreanu. But I like to think he's got his own style. I got my own style. But I liked like how he plays and how he conducts himself on the table and how he is. Basically, tries to be fun. I think he's been a bit more mundane, a bit more chilled out. Recently, obviously playing all these big high roller events, he's not so chatty, he's not as talkative as he has been in the past, but generally speaking, how he's conducted himself and like Kid Poker and the brand and the image he's brought And how he plays on the table, I think, is what I like, basically. So when I saw him in High Stakes Poker and all these kind of like TV shows growing up and learning the game myself, I thought he brought the fun factor to poker, you know? He was more fun than other characters that sitting there not saying a word on the table. So I think in that regard, I'd look at it in that way, in terms of someone I think is good for the game as well, just by their speech play and their presence on the table. Someone who I probably don't like on the table, well, I'm not just saying it, but probably it'd be the likes of someone like Shaun Deeb, who are going to be arrogant, who are going to be ignorant, who are going to be unprofessional, who are going to think they're better than everyone else just because they've achieved what they have in poker, to put people down, to belittle people, to come on podcasts to accuse people of hitting on their wives, which is embarrassing to say the least, and then for his own wife to go and back the other guy, I think is hilarious and embarrassing at the same time. And then to go hate and berate and say how you hate another poker player so much and you hate the coverage they're getting. I just think it just looks really pathetic and weak. And the fact that you're crying over the fact that someone's getting more airtime than you. Well, if you're worried about it and it's getting to you that much, you shouldn't be airing that, personally on social media or a big podcast like with you. They should be doing something about it. They should be fixing their game. If they're worried about not getting airtime or they're jealous of the fact that they're not getting airtime, then why don't they change their game? Why don't they do something so that ESPN or anyone else will give them that airtime if that's what they're jealous about and they're going to be hating? Why is there so much hate in this world? Why can't everyone just get on and just have their own unique style of playing? You pay your $10,000, you pay how you want. I pay my 10K, I can play how I want. I'm not there to criticize anyone else's game, and I wouldn't expect anyone to criticize the way I'm playing or how I should or shouldn't play my game of poker. So everyone's got their own style, and I think everyone should be just live and let live is the motto that I live by. Get on with your life. Life's too short to hold grudges and have enemies and hate all the time. I like to think I don't have any enemies or hate on anyone. I still seem to have haters out there who I get messages even over the last 2 years from random people like online Nitbag Keyboard Warriors messaging me randomly saying, why don't you just shut the F up, just play some cards, you talk too much shit and the rest of it, why don't you just shut the F up and play cards? They're missing the whole point, because clearly they don't understand the whole psychological aspect of the game. They don't understand the speech play and the methods of madness, so to speak. I don't do it just for fun. I don't do it just for show. I don't do it for the cameras. There's a reason why I do it. It's part of my strategy. If it gets under my opponent's skin, then so be it. If you're going to get weak-minded individuals playing the main event, for example, and they're going to go on tilt because of a bit of banter and speech play, then it's going to be more plus EV for me. They're going to play badly. They're going to make wrong decisions, and I'm going to end up taking their chips. So what if you might think, oh, it's morally right, it's morally wrong, you're constantly badgering your opponent. But if it's part of the game and it's an edge that you have over your opponent, you've got to exploit your opponents to the max and use whatever edge you have in the game to win. So whatever it takes, however long it takes, whatever it takes, as long as I'm playing within the rules, I'll do it to win. That's the bottom line. So, but what I'm trying to say is,
it sounds like we need a heads up for rolls with you versus Shaun Deeb. I don't know.
So this is the bad thing about poker. Whenever I think Patrick Leonard took to Twitter and said, whenever there's an argument to shut someone else up on social media, you say, right, heads up for rolls, heads up for rolls. Right, I'll play you heads up. I'll bash you up heads up. Let's play for all the money you got. Let's sit down with the $1 million with a big fucking ego and say, yeah, I'll play you for $1 million. And if I beat you, then I'm the best poker player in the world. And I'm much better than you. And you're shit and I'm good. What does that prove? You're playing a heads-up match, small sample size, best of 3, best of 5, whatever you want to do. And it's just a big ego thing to say, I'm a better player than you. No, it's a small sample size. You're not a better player than the other person just because you beat them in one heads-up match. It doesn't prove anything. It's just an ego thing. For me, that doesn't prove anything. And for me, that's not something that's going to be high up on my agenda. I'm not going to be in a priority. It's not going to be high up on my priority list to play anyone heads-up, Shaun Deeb or anyone else. I think I've got more important and more significant things to do in poker, like playing my game, bringing the fun factor back to poker, bringing more recreational players into the game, and having fun and enjoying yourself. And that's a bigger picture, really, rather than playing heads up for rolls for a big ego trip and saying, I beat my opponent, I'm better than him, I took all his money. For me, that's not a big thing. It's not something that I'd be proud of or something that I'd think is significant in my life. So, yeah. That's not something that you think, oh, yeah, heads up for rolls is the answer. I think people should stop doing that. I think that recently people are doing boxing matches.
No, we ain't stop doing heads up for rolls. That's some bullshit right there. I don't support that one, man. That's some weak shit right there, bro.
I don't know, but what does it prove, though, Joey? It proves you've got a big ego.
This is competitive. This is poker. This ain't fucking hold my hand across the street. We're out here ready to play. We're out here trying to see who's the. I don't know where you come from playing poker. I'm trying to see who's the best. I want to compete against the best players. I want to play. I want to mix it up. I want to battle. I don't play poker to fucking shake that. I like battling, man. That's what heads up for rolls is about. You got a fucking issue with someone, you take it out on the table. This is poker. If it's basketball, you take it out on the basketball court. If this is another sport, you take it out on the court. You play against each other. You fucking show who's a better player. Is that going to show? No, it's not the 100% thing, but it's a way to sort out some things. I've had many heads up battles over my career, man. I believe in the heads up battles. You need the heads up battles, man.
There's like both. There's two sides of the coin. I've given one side
and fucking hold the dick while you go across the street. Oh, we're playing. You know, for this poker, man. You're battling. Fuck, Will. I thought you'd like the battle. I thought you'd like to compete. You're saying you don't want to compete. You say you can't be bothered to compete. What's up with this? Fuck heads up for rolls. That's crazy. Come on, man. Heads up for rolls. That's a lifeblood of poker. This is what makes poker great. Heads up for rolls have been going down since the 40s when Doyle Brunson was playing some random person from Texas in a backroom card room where they had shotguns on the table and someone got killed if they slow rolled someone. Will, they're classic. So heads up for rolls cannot go away. They need to be around forever.
Okay, they can be around. Just add that bit of spice to some people's life. I think it's more of an American thing. Playing heads up for rolls. Yeah, who's got bigger balls? Who can bash who up?
Yeah,
who's going to have more money? Man. Let's see how much money. Let's see how much money you have, and let's bring all the money, all your net worth, and put it down on the poker table. Play heads against some random punter, and try and double or bust.
This ain't a random punter. Right? This is two people with bad blood. This ain't a random punter. This ain't you and Jimmy Chocoboo from down the street. This is two people with some blood. This poker, they got blood. Heads up. Let's battle. Let's get some bragging rights. Enough of this chit chat off the table. Your wife, your sister, you're bad at poker. You're good at poker. Fuck that. Let's take it to poker. All right, we got talking. Let's play. Let's see a challenge. Let's see something happen here. This is poker we're talking about, right? If we want to go back and forth in poker, I want to see some action, man. But
you love it. You love the action, Pappy. You love the action. But I think the actions speak louder than words. You've seen everything that took to social media. It's not just about words. You've seen the truth come out now, especially with the whole Shaun Deeb thing, the sister-wife thing, his wife backing me up. The fact that he's saying I've got a skill set of a 2-year-old, which I thought was a compliment since I got, like, if I may say so myself, 1.37 million in live tournament earnings. $1.37 million. So that I thought that's pretty sick for the skill set of a 2-year-old. So I'll take that.
You know what? If someone's gonna talk shit about somebody in poker and then they don't want to play heads up, I mean, it ain't gotta be heads up for your rolls. It ain't you playing for your roll. But if you're gonna talk shit about someone in poker, you're gonna go back and forth with them, and then someone says, "Hey, let's play heads up," and you guys play the same game. I mean, I don't know. It's just I don't know, man. I don't know. If y'all gonna see
something thing. Oh, let's settle this argument over a heads up match and bash each other up. Heads up for all. Yes. Who's got the big ego over a small sample size, which means nothing.
This is poker.
What does it prove, Joey? Over such a small sample size, what will it prove? If I beat him or he beat me, it won't prevent. Even if I beat Shaun Deeb, say we were to play heads up, for example. Say I beat him 3-0.
You might not need to prove anything. I'm sure. And trust me, if you play, you might see, oh, this guy sucks. He never check raises. He never bet bluffs. There's certainly things that are proven in a heads up match. Depends on the format, depends on the situation. You get the bragging rights that are in there as well, too. It's fun. It makes poker fun again, as Will Kassouf. Listen, you know what, Will? Somebody told me that poker should be fun again. We want to see personalities. We want to see people talking. We want to see people having a good time. We want to see, someone told me this, Will, that we want to see people going back and forth, mixing it up for the fans, make it ESPN, right? They like characters. They like action. Someone told me this, Will. I don't know who the guy was, but somebody told me this stuff. Maybe he told me today. He basically advocated for everything that heads up for rolls stands for. That
I did not mention heads up for rolls.
This man advocated for making poker fun again, great again. This is a man that I believe in when he says this. His name's Will Kassouf. He told me this earlier. That man would love a heads up battle for the fans, to make poker great again, to make poker fun again, for the entertainment. That man would love poker.
You love it. When you think that concept, I never mentioned heads up. I never mentioned heads up for rolls. I never mentioned anything about two players going head to head just for a big ego trip and who can bash who up for all the money in the world on the table for their net worth. I was talking about the WSP main event. I was talking about 9 million people that I want to inspire to bring into the game, which would mean more to me than $9 million in my bank account. It means bringing more recreational players into the game, getting more people playing the World Series main event, getting more people getting airtime and making a name for themselves on the ESPN and playing in big fields like the MTTs, like the World Series Poker main event. You'll see having banter and speech day, playing with 8 other players on the table, enjoying yourself and getting on the opponent's skin, you playing your A game, using whatever edge you have. That's what I was talking about, and making poker fun again. Having fun at the table.
Oh, so there's restrictions. I didn't know there was restrictions in making poker fun again. I thought make poker fun means let's make poker fun and do some fun things. I didn't know there was separate things. Oh, that's not fun. Well, some people think you talking is not fun too. So you got to understand where they're coming. They don't think that's fun. They think heads up for rolls are fun. You don't think heads up for rolls are fun. They think that's fun. You think talking's fun. They don't think talking's fun. So you got to understand.
That's what gets the discussion going. That's why people are saying I'm polarizing, because you're not going to get everyone who 100% agrees with you. I'm grateful for that. I love that fact. I think Daniel Negreanu did a poll like 2 years ago, straight after the WSB main event, and he had put it out to thousands and thousands of people on Twitter, and the poll came back 52% were in favor of me and 48% against.
I think you might have a chance. I think you can beat him.
Huh?
Poker Night America. I think you versus Shaun Deeb, Poker Night America. I think you got a chance. Listen, Helmuth beat Doug Polk. If the debatably the #1 heads-up poker player in the world can lose, anyone can lose, man. I'm telling you.
No, I'd have to say, like, on paper, I'd have to say that Helmut's a better player than Doug Polk in No Limit Hold'em in terms of tournaments. I don't know about heads up. I don't play heads up, so I don't know. I don't have experience heads up. I don't know about other players playing heads up. If you had to tell me who's a better poker player between Helmuth and Polk, then obviously I'd have to choose Helmuth. 15-time gold bracelet winner. His record speaks for himself in terms of how he is. I know he's a poker brat and how he conducts himself, and his outbursts are sometimes OOL, as you like to say. But hands down, you can't take away his record. 15 gold bracelets, right?
Can't take away bracelets. Amen. That's I'm saying that's a statement right there. That's a statement right there.
That's it. It's a statement of intent. This is what it's all about. So this is what I'm trying to say. The statement of intent.
Is the supreme leader falling? Oh my God. Doug's falling. I'm sorry, Doug. This is what it's come to.
Doug's in the chat.
This is what it's come to, Doug. I'm sorry, buddy.
What's Doug Polk saying right now?
Listen, someone said I'm trolling. I'm being fucking serious. I want to see this happen. Pokers, I want to see the match happen. This is how we settle things in poker. We get a little battling going on, man. That's what I'm saying.
What about boxing matches? I see people doing boxing matches. I heard like Kevin Hart against
Antonio. You saying you want to box Shaun Deeb? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, that would be more funny. Now that would be more fun. A boxing match with Shaun Deeb.
So you're saying you'd rather box him than play him heads up in poker? It don't make sense to me.
That would be more funny, just for comedy value, because I'm not built for boxing. I'll be the skinniest person in the ring. He'll be one of the biggest persons in the ring. And I think that would make for a more comedy battle in terms of battle and a duo than sitting playing heads up and 3-betting, 4-betting each other, and me giving Shaun the speech and him saying nothing to me back. That won't make for a great game. Won't prove anything. Small sample size. But look what's happening with Kevin Hart and Antonio Esfandiari. I mean, I heard about their boxing match coming up. I don't know when it's.
Are you saying that you want to be on the undercard? You and Shaun Deeb in a boxing match.
I was asking you about Antonio and Kevin. Do you know much about that, or how that came about, or what are your thoughts on it?
I don't know anything about that, actually. No, I just saw a little bit, but I haven't talked with. I don't know.
Yeah, or what are your thoughts of having a boxing match rather than playing heads up? Is that the new way to go? Is that the GTO 2018, 2019 way to settle things?
I'm ready to fucking box somebody. If you're trying to say something, I'm ready to box. I'm ready. Listen, man, we got the fucking cycle on deck. We'll take some tests, take some DECA, be juiced the fuck up, be fucking training with the SEALs in San Diego, fucking 24 hours a day. Listen, I'm ready. I'm ready for a boxing match, man. I'm
ready to spar with you, Joe. I can spar with you, and you can go. You can choose your opponent. You can have a fight with like Doug Polk or something, just for like who could be the best podcaster, you or Doug Polk, and you can settle it in a boxing match.
I'm not worried. I'm ready to get out there with someone, man. I'm ready to do it, man. Not one of you professional trained fighters in the chat. You guys are fucking experts, anything like that. I'm ready though, man. I'm ready.
Well, listen, you're a big podcaster. Doug Polk's a big podcaster. Why don't you have a big podcaster kind of boxing match? Set it in the ring. Who's bigger? Who's better? Who's a better podcaster?
You are ready to box anybody. He's in a midlife crisis right now. He's trying to figure out his goddamn life, man. He ain't ready to box anybody. He's trying to figure out what he should do tomorrow.
You know, the boxing match will just be for ruffles and match.
If you box me, Will, then I'll think about boxing Doug. All right. If me and you got a boxing match, I'll think go boxing Doug. Okay. That's my stipulation.
We're gonna be like sparring.
You play Shaun Deeb heads up at a heads up match, then I'll box somebody.
No, I think I should box Shaun Deeb. I think that'll be more entertaining than playing him heads up.
I think you should box him too. That sounds fun to me. I'm ready to watch a boxing match you and Shaun Deeb happen. That sounds like a great idea.
The only problem I have, the only advantage he has, if he sits on me, that's it. It's game over.
Bro, this ain't fucking sumo wrestling. This is boxing.
What are you talking about? But all the rules will go out the window. We're not going to have professional boxing rules. We're going to have no holds barred kind of boxing.
So you want to have a no holds barred boxing? You realize you're contradicting. It's not a boxing match. Then you want to have like a street fight.
Some people are saying UFC would be better than boxing because boxing is a bit like points and jabs and dancing around the ring, and it's a bit like, I don't know, it's not hardcore. People are saying like UFC fight. They want to see Will Kassouf, Shaun Deeb, UFC fight in the cage. Can you imagine that shit? No holds barred kickboxing. Wow! I want to see Shaun Deeb come doing like a flying drop kick or do some high kick. Roundhouse kick to my ass. I'd love that shit. That would be hilarious. I hope he's watching this right now. I'm practicing the roundhouse kicks in his house with his wife right now.
What are you talking about? So wait, so you're saying that you would do a fight with Shaun Deeb? You'd rather do a fight? You actually would. It sounds like you're serious. You would do it.
Nah, I'm only messing. But I think something to be more fun because I like to bring the whole fun factor back to it. If we're gonna settle something, an argument, I'd rather do it something other than just poker. We play poker all the time. We're arguing about poker. We're discussing who's good for the game, who's bad for the game. Let the viewers decide. Let the public decide who's good for the game, who's bad for the game, whether it's right, it's wrong, whether he slow rolls is good for the game or not. let everyone else have their own opinion on that. But if you're gonna settle an argument, then let's do it off the poker table. Let's do it off the felt. Let's do something different. Let's do something fun and exciting that we can see two poker players taken out of their comfort zone, out of the poker arena, and do something that they don't ever do in their life, and literally put them on the spot, take them out of the comfort zone, and just put them bang in the middle in the ring like a UFC fight. You know me, I've never been in a fight in my life. Yeah, believe it or not. You might be surprised with all the speech playing, getting under people's skin, but I hope to keep it that way. I've never been in a fight in my life, so maybe I'm not one to be advocating for a boxing match or a UFC fight right now. But I'm just trying to put it out there. The bottom line is, let's do something fun. If you're going to settle something, do something fun, do something different that you're not used to. Something that you might fear.
I'd pay at least $100 to watch this. I mean, I would.
You'd have to pay $100K to watch me and Shaun Deeb in the UFC fight. We might have to contact the producer of UFC or what have you, and get this fight organized. This could be some big bucks.
Okay. Whatever you say. I mean, listen, I don't know. He might. I feel like could be.
I think Shaun Deeb might be licking his lips now. He's like thinking, yeah, UFC. He could be like. Well, I can't really compare him to like Conor McGregor, but yeah, I like.
You're Conor McGregor. You're the fast talking. Whatever.
I'm the Conor McGregor of poker. Some people have actually said that I'm a Conor McGregor of poker. So yeah,
McGregor is one of the top in his division, and you are not one of the top in your division in poker, though. So I think that's a little bit out of line.
But this is it's going to be light-hearted banter, full of fun. So it's not going to be like for like. I don't have to be the same level as Conor McGregor to be the Conor McGregor of poker. So it's just like a name, a title.
I believe you have to. No. I believe you have to be. No, you can't be the Conor McGregor of poker. What are you talking about right now? What the fuck
Listen, I'm trying to speak you into it, Joey. Go along with it. I'm speaking you into it. Hey, hashtag just say.
Conor McGregor of poker. What are you talking about right now?
I'm just saying what people are trying to dub me. I'm not giving that name myself. I'm saying
like Swaggy P. You're like Nick Young. I don't know if you know who Nick Young is, but you're like, not really Nick Young either. I don't know. So
I know Nicky P from the Bronx. He's a legend as well. Shout out to Nicky P from the Bronx. That's the only Nicky I know.
Nicky? I said Nicky. Okay, you know, it makes sense. All right, never mind. There's got to be a comparison. I just can't think of. I think about this more. I'm gonna figure out a comparison for Big Will here. I know Big Will's got to
think quicker, Joey. You got to think on the spot. You got to be sharp. You got to be outwitting your opponent. If you're gonna be a good PLO player, you got to outwit your opponent. You got to think of the 4 cards before they even looked at their 4 cards. You got to be smarter than Joey. Come on.
Is that what you're trying to say? You want to play heads up PLO and you just talk? How about we play heads up PLO? I have to play in one earbud. I have to play a recording of you speaking the entire time, and it's just nonstop the entire time. So I in one earbud.
All my catchphrases in one go, right?
It's a 10-hour tape. It's a 10 hours of you literally speaking the entire time.
Right.
One ear, and then we play heads up PLO. But you can still talk. So you're talking to the table. In one ear, I'm just listening to you the entire time, the entire match. How am I ever?
But you'd love that. That wouldn't put you on tilt. I think it'll put others on tilt. You're used to it. You love the fun factor. You love the ruffles and bands. You know, life is all about
it. Makes sense.
Ruffles gonna ruffle. That's true. It. So that's it. So you can take it. You can take it, Joey. I think at the beginning you might have been tilted, but I think you're used to it now. So you've come on board.
I like it. It's funny.
It's all about survival of the fittest, and you've adapted well to the speech play and the constant na in your face, and you've done well, and you still got that smile on your face even from 2 years ago. You're still smiling. That's it. It's great for the game. Keep smiling, Joey. Great for the game.
When I do the podcast, we'll have a default smile unless your name's AA. If you're AA, I'm not smiling, but anyone else, I'm smiling here. I'm ready to go.
That's it.
Listen, we've covered a lot here, man. We might get an MMA match out of this. This is epic right here. This is great. Listen, I don't think this might happen. I don't know. Are you going to train? Would you would you juice, or what would you do? What would be your plan if you had a fight with Shaun Deeb?
What, a UFC fight?
Yeah. What would you do?
I'd have to ask some expertise on that. I need to ask maybe some of my friends who do kickboxing and that.
That'd be amazing. Might be like the biggest story in the UK. Poker player Will Kassouf, David versus Goliath there, man. That'd be epic, man. I don't know.
Literally, yeah, it would be.
Dude, oh my God.
No, I don't think that's going to happen realistically. But yeah, doing something fun, taking 2 people out of their comfort zone, doing something off the felt, taking them out of the poker arena, doing something other than poker. Not saying, I know I get your point about heads up for all, that's like I said, arguments. But for me, that won't prove thing just because you're a good poker player, he's a professional poker player, and the other one's a pro as well, and you put them both on the table, let's play heads up for rolls and see who's got the bigger balls, who's got the bigger ego, who's going to win a best out of 3 heads up match. It won't prove anything. Oh, they won this time. Then you play again and the other person might win the other time. It won't prove anything. It's just for publicity stunt. For me, that's not, high up on my agenda to like play anyone heads up. heads up for rolls just to have a bigger ego and say I beat him or whatever. So.
Hey, I was against it. I was against that idea. Now I support the other side. I'd much rather see this match go down than I'm ready to make this match happen, man. Fuck this.
But you'd rather see a UFC fight than playing heads up for rolls and your opponent.
Yeah, right? Man. Listen, heads up for rolls. We forget about that in a year. Okay, let's be honest. We forget about that. But a boxing or wrestling match, that's gonna go down forever in my mind. I'll never remember that, man. Goddamn.
I'm wearing the belt, and you're gonna have a custom-made belt as well, which is bigger than yourself. It's gonna be.
Are you
the belt
kidding me? There might be 3 belts there. There'd be a belt.
Better than a trophy. That'll be better than a poker.
No, man. There'd be. I can't even think would be there. It'd be the most epic. This is kind of crazy. I'm getting fired. I can't even contain myself. The emotions going through my mind right now. I'm fired up right now.
Reminds me of my buddy like Jay Carrigan McFarlane. He's like a big Scottish player right now, and I met him recently at the Goliath Festival in the UK, and he's like a big boxer in Scotland. And I'm thinking, yeah, how he thinks, his mentality, and what he's achieved. He's only 20 years old. I'm thinking I saw his belt that he showed me while I was in commentary as well. So big up to Jay, great guy, and yeah, why not? If you're good at something and you put your mind to it, you want to achieve something, just go out there, grab it with both hands, and just play your best and never give up, Think big, dream big, live the dream. That's what I say.
I love it, brother. I love it. Guys, that's it. We're wrapping things up, man. 1 o'clock here on the dot. Everyone in the chat, if you watch this video and you didn't like the video, my coach says that you need to stop watching my videos, apparently. It's my coach tells me. But much love everybody out there commenting in the chat. You guys were a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, thank you very much to Will for coming on. I enjoyed the banter. I enjoyed the speech play. I enjoyed the rufflers. I enjoyed the coconuts, the monkey nuts. And cannot wait for this match to happen. I'll put a video out tomorrow. And next podcast, I don't know. I've got to talk to Gus Hansen right now, so maybe we'll record that tonight and put it out here this week.
Something more realistic. We could use your brain rather than having an ego thing or have a wrestling match or do something like punch each other's faces in. We could do something like more of a strategy game. I know lots of players, poker players, play like backgammon and play chess. You can even have a triathlon of poker, chess, and backgammon. I'm all for that. Like using your brain, using strategy, and to outsmart your opponent. I wouldn't mind playing Shaun Deeb in a triathlon of poker, chess, and backgammon. That could be something different rather than just playing heads up for rolls.
We'll put it out there for him. Maybe we can get this settled, man. I think that's what we want. We want to settle this, man. We want to have you guys battle, shake hands after, newfound respect, bring the peace in there. That's what I like, man. I like that a lot.
That could be a new thing, like have a little triathlon, like poker, backgammon, and chess, because all of them involve strategy, involving using your mind, involving using your brain to outwit your opponent to try and beat them. That's a kind of heads-up match, but in 3 different games, and maybe 2 games that you may not be comfortable with because you don't play it full time. You're not a professional backgammon or chess player, but that could be something good that you can use your brain and try and beat your opponent. So I think that might be a smart way of settling things, and maybe have a little triathlon in terms of strategy sports rather than being in a boxing ring or playing heads up for rolls. Just an idea. Put it out there right now.
Amen to that, guys. We're wrapping things up. I got to go to the bathroom very quickly, and I don't want to go in this bottle right here, like old time's sake. So that's it. Much love, everybody out there. Peace out. Take care. Thanks for watching.
Papi, it's been emotional, man.
Okay, that's it. Bye.